From Viera, Florida, to the world via the internet, welcome to Brevard County Manatees Baseball. I'm Stephen Smith of SpaceCoastBaseball.com, and I'll be telling you about tonight's game from the first pitch until the final out. Well, Yogi Berra is famous for many things, one of which is it ain't over till it's over, and the other is that it got late very early. And both of those quotes will describe tonight's game between the Tampa Yankees and the Brevard County Manatees. Both teams have 10 games left in the 2010 season. And right now in the second half standings, the Tampa Yankees are in first place in the Florida State League North Division with a record of 37-20. They have a 2-game lead over the Daytona Cubs, who are at 36-23. And then the Manatees are in third place at 34-26, 4.5 games behind Tampa and 2.5 games behind Daytona. This is the third of a 3-game series between the two teams. We were supposed to play on Tuesday night, but that game was rained out. So they had a make-up doubleheader yesterday, both games 7 innings each. In game number 1, the Manatees beat Tampa by a score of 8-3. But in game number 2, the Yankees beat Brevard by a score of 5-3 to maintain the Tampa 4.5 game lead over Brevard. So it's getting late very early for the Manatees with 10 games left. There's only a 4.5 game deficit for them to make up. And they have tonight's game and 3 more games next week in Tampa. So if they could win all 4, of course, that would shave 4 games off of the deficit, but then that would also help out the Daytona Cubs as well. I will give you the starting lineups in just a moment, so if you want to keep score, get a pencil and a piece of paper, and we'll give you the lineups in just a moment. Before we do that, though, let's go a little bit more over the permutations for the rest of the season and the playoff chase. As we said, Tampa is in first with a 2-game lead over Daytona and 4.5 over the Manatees. The Yankees, perhaps George Steinbrenner up there in heaven has had some influence on the rain gods, because the Yankees have had a bit of an easy time of it lately, because in recent days they've had 3 games canceled due to rain. One was August 17th against Daytona at Tampa, and that game was canceled due to wet grounds. Earlier this week, the Yankees had back-to-back doubleheaders scheduled for Sunday and Monday against the Lakeland Flying Tigers. The game on Sunday was played, and the Yankees won both those games, but then the doubleheader that was scheduled for Monday at Lakeland, both those games were canceled due to rain. So that's 3 less games that Tampa has to worry about for this season. And it also helped them avoid a situation coming into this series where they would have had to play back-to-back doubleheaders Sunday and Monday and then come straight here for 3 games, which would have meant that their pitching staff was a bit depleted. Instead, between the rainout on Monday and the rainout on Tuesday, they were able to reset their pitching staff and come in here quite refreshed. Now, as for the Manatees, this is the final game in this 3-game series tonight. And then tomorrow, the Clearwater Threshers, who are a Philadelphia Phillies affiliate, will be coming in for a 3-game series here. It's the final 3-game series at home for the Manatees this year. The Manatees are off Monday, and then they go to Tampa for a 3-game series against the Yankees, and then they wind up the regular season in Clearwater Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next week to wrap up the season. As we get into the broadcast, we'll talk a little bit more of the permutations, including the remaining schedule for the Yankees and for the Daytona Cubs, and also the tie-breaking procedures for the Florida State League. All right, now here are the starting lineups first for the visiting Tampa Yankees. Leading it off and in left field is number 22, Ray Krummel, K-R-U-M-L. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 21, Jose Pirela, P-I-R-E-L-A. Batting third and at third base, number 36, Brad Suttle, S-U-T-T-L-E. Batting fourth is the center fielder, number 29, Melky, M-E-L-K-Y, Mesa, M-E-S-A. Batting fifth is the shortstop, number 18, Addison, A-D-D-I-S-O-N, Maruzak, M-A-R-U-S-Z-A-K. Batting sixth is the right fielder, number 35, Zoilo Almonte, that's Z-O-I-L-O-A-L-M-O-N-T-E. Batting seventh is the first baseman, number 51, Myron Leslie, that's M-Y-R-O-N, and Leslie, L-E-S-L-I-E. Batting eighth is the catcher, number 41, Jose Gil, that's G-I-L. And batting ninth is the second baseman, number 11, Anderson Feliz, F-E-L-I-Z. And the starting pitcher for the Yankees, number 39, right-hander Graham Stoneburner, S-T-O-N-E-B-U-R-N-E-R. Now here's the starting lineup for the Manatees against Stoneburner. Leading it off in at right field is number 9, Peter Fatse, F-A-T-S-E. Batting second, number 3, is the second baseman, Matt Klein, C-L-I-N-E. Batting third is the center fielder, number 8, Eric with a K, Komatsu, K-O-M-A-T-S-U. Batting fourth is the designated hitter, number 16, Angel Salome, S-A-L-O-M-E. Batting fifth is the third baseman, number 10, Sergio Miranda. Batting sixth is the first baseman, number 24, Sean Halton, S-E-A-N, Halton, H-A-L-T-O-N. Batting seventh is the left fielder, number 33, Brock Kelgard, K-J-E-L-D-G-A-A-R-D. The J and the first D are silent. Batting eighth is the catcher, number 5, Sean, S-E-A-N, McCraw, M-C-C-R-A-W. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 30, Juan Sanchez. The starting pitcher for the Manatees is number 19, left-hander Dan Merklinger, M-E-R-K-L-I-N-G-E-R. Well, it's Military Appreciation Night here at Space Coast Stadium, so we're going to have a military color guard march the colors onto the field in just a moment. It also happens to be Thursday here, which means that a 20-ounce Coca-Cola or an 18-ounce Budweiser product is just $2. While we wait for the festivities on the field to begin, real quickly, let's go over the tie-breaking procedures for the Florida State League playoffs should Tampa or Daytona and or the Manatees wind up in a tie here at the end of the second half. They will not play any kind of a sudden death playoff game. Instead, the way that a tie will be settled, it goes in this order. The first thing they go by is the winning percentage, and because Tampa has lost 3 games to the rain gods that will not be made up, they could wind up with a different winning percentage than whomever they're tied with, so that could affect the final record. After that comes the record in head-to-head competition between the tied teams. Then it's the record within the division. Then total runs scored. Then total runs scored in head-to-head competition. And then total runs scored within the division. Let's take a look at what the schedule is going to be like for the Manatees, the Yankees, and the Daytona Cubs in the next few days. As we said, the Manatees, after tonight, have 3 games here at home against Clearwater. Then they go on the road for 3 in Tampa and for 3 at Clearwater. Now, head-to-head, the Manatees have actually done quite well against the Tampa Yankees. Head-to-head, the Manatees are 8-6 against the Tampa Yankees. But the Manatees also have 6 games remaining with Clearwater, and they are not doing well at all this year against the Threshers. The Manatees against Clearwater are only 3-9 so far this year. So that's one thing that could affect the rest of the schedule for the Manatees. Now, as for the Tampa Yankees, after tonight, they go to Dunedin for 3 games against the Dunedin Blue Jays, who won the first half at 41-29. However, here in the second half, Dunedin is in last place in the Florida State League North with a record of 24-34. After that, The Yankees are at home for 3 against the Manatees, and then 3 at home to end the regular season against Dunedin. So it would seem that the schedule certainly works in the favor of the Tampa Yankees. Now, as for the Daytona Cubs, they will not have any games against either the Manatees or the Yankees for the remainder of the season. So, unlike the Manatees and the Yankees being able to affect each other's destiny by the 4 remaining games head-to-head, with Daytona, they're pretty much on their own. They play at home tonight against Clearwater starting at 7:05 Eastern Time. Then they host the Lakeland Flying Tigers for 3 games this weekend. After that, the Daytona Cubs go on the road, and they'll play 3 games at Clearwater Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And they wind up with 3 games on the road at Lakeland Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're wondering whether or not Lakeland or Clearwater have the gumption to affect what Daytona is doing, here in the second half, Lakeland is 28 and 29, Clearwater 25 and 34. So once again, it would appear that Tampa probably has the best schedule going into the remaining 10 games of the season. Well, the lineups have been exchanged at home plate between Manatees manager Bob Missick and the Tampa Yankees manager Torrey Tyson, T-O-R-R-E, Tyson, T-Y-S-O-N. The weather just before game time, it was 84 degrees with 71% humidity, which made it feel like 92. The wind was blowing out of the east-southeast at 5 miles an hour. This time of year, of course, we're always concerned about the combustibility of Florida weather. And a couple of days ago, as we said, we had a rain out, and then yesterday it was not looking good at all. The weather forecast for the day was 70% chance of rain, and it rained pretty much all over Brevard County, except for here. We got a little shower about a half hour before game time at 5 o'clock for the makeup doubleheader, and that was it. So we got both of those games in. Right now, as I said, the weather forecast is that we only have about a 10 to 15% chance of rain through midnight. Looking out the window, our view is from the east to the southwest, and we can definitely see some potential of rain out there, but the wind again is blowing from the east-southeast, and it seems relatively clear out there. The Manatees take the field wearing their formal white uniforms with Manatees in block across the front and numbers on the back, navy with red trim. The Tampa players and the Manatee players stand in front of their dugouts and line up for the national anthem. We'll let you listen, and then we'll be right back.
Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Tech Sergeant Altermise L. Myers. She's attached to the 920th Rescue Wing as a reservist at Patrick Air Force Base at Satellite Beach, and she's also part of the 45 Launch Support Squadron as a civilian at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station here in Florida. Again, Tech Sergeant Altermise L. Myers with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
Ultramees L. Myers. Thank you.
The colors being marched off the field, and both the Manatees and the Tampa Yankees doing it the way it's supposed to be done. They remain attention on the field until the colors actually leave the field. The color guard with 3 flags, one of which is an American flag, the second is for POWs and MIAs, and the third is for the Vietnam Veterans of America, the special flag that they have for their association. Let's very quickly give you the scoreboard for the Florida State League. Several make-up doubleheaders today because of the rainouts throughout the state this week. They're playing 2 at Dunedin between the Lakeland Flying Tigers and the Dunedin Blue Jays. Game number 1 is final. The Dunedin Blue Jays went extra innings against Lakeland, and the minor leagues doubleheaders go 7 innings each. And that first game went 8 innings. Dunedin scored in the bottom of the 8th to beat Lakeland by a score of 3-2. And game 2 is scheduled to get started shortly. And they're playing 2 in Bradenton between the St. Lucie Mets and the Bradenton Marauders, who are a Pittsburgh Pirates affiliate. Bottom of the 6th, and Bradenton has a 10-0 lead over the St. Lucie Mets. They're playing 2 down the road in Palm Beach. The Palm Beach Cardinals hosting the Fort Myers Miracle, who are a Minnesota Twins affiliate. And game number 1, the Miracle are leading 2-1 over Palm Beach after 6. They're playing 2 in Charlotte, the Stonecrafts, who are a Tampa Bay Rays affiliate, hosting the Jupiter Hammerheads, who are a Florida Marlins affiliate. And after 6, the Charlotte Stonecrafts lead the Hammerheads by a score of 4-0. Up the freeway 75 miles in Daytona, they're playing just 1 tonight between the Cubs and the Clearwater Threshers, the Phillies affiliate. And, of course, here the Tampa Yankees and the Brevard County Manatees. Ray Crummell coming to the plate to bat against Daniel Merklinger. The Manatees defense has Sean Halton at first, Matt Klein at second, Juan Sanchez at short, giving a night off for Josh Prince, and Sergio Miranda at third. It's Brock Kilgard in left, Eric Komatsu in center, and Peter Fatse in right. Behind the plate, Sean McCraw, and the first pitch by Daniel Merklinger is across the plate for a strike, 0-1. Merklinger, 7-5 with a 3.71 ERA. 0-1 pitch is a bouncer on 1 hop to Sean Halton, who takes it to the bag at first himself for the out. So Ray Crummell is gone. And that'll bring up Jose Perella, the designated hitter. We didn't have a chance to even give you Ray Crummell's numbers. He's batting .263, 1 home run, 18 RBI. Now at the plate is Jose Perella. First pitch by Merklinger. Fastball high, ball 1. Perella batting .253, 5 home runs, 58 RBI. He bats right-handed against the southpaw Merklinger. Daniel, holding the glove in front of his face, winds, and the 1-0 pitch darts over the inside corner of the plate, and the count's 1-1. Daniel, making his 21st start of the year. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and it's lined the opposite way down the right field line into the stands, and the count goes 1-2. In 126 innings for Daniel, 118 hits, 129 strikeouts, 40 walks. 1-2 pitch. Swings and fists it into short right center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. It dies on the grass. Eric Komatsu picks it up and gets it into the second baseman, Matt Klein. So Jose Perella is on first with a 1-out single. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Brad Suttle, who's batting .280, 10 home runs, 78 RBI. Suttle and the on-deck hitter, Melky Mesa, a potent 1-2 combination for the Tampa Yankees. They're all over the Florida State League statistical leaders. Perella at first, 26 for 33 in stolen base attempts. First pitch by Merklinger, fastball outside corner, strike one. Suttle is tied for second in the league in doubles with 32. And is third in the league in total bases with 203. He's also second in the league in RBI with 78 and fourth in hits with 133. Next pitch is swung on, Suttle gets just a piece of it and rolls into the backstop, and the count goes 0-2. Suttle is a switch hitter, and he's fifth in the league in extra base hits with 46. Alton holding on Perella at first. Merklinger hasn't made a single pickoff attempt as of yet. And the 0-2 pitch, fastball outside corner, strike three called. Strikeout number 130 on the year for Dan Merklinger. So with two down and Perella still on first, that'll bring up the center fielder, Melky Mesa, who's batting .263, 19 home runs, 74 RBI. The right-handed batter tied for the league lead in home runs at 19 with Michael McDade of Dunedin. There's a pickoff throw to first, and Perella back standing. Mesa not only is a power threat, but he's also fast on the bases, 31 stolen bases, fourth in the league. Second in the league in slugging percentage at .483. Swings and misses at a fastball in the inside corner, and the count is 0-1. Mesa right behind Suttle, third in the league in RBI with 74. Leads the league in total bases at 211 and is third in the league in triples with 9. Big bat. There's another toss by Merklinger over to first, and once again, Perella back standing. Just underway here in Brevard between the Tampa Yankees and the Brevard County Manatees in a pivotal game to determine who goes to the playoffs representing the North Division next month. Fastball misses high and away, and the count's 1-1. We have a very good crowd here for Thursday night, and they're still rolling in. I know we've got some Yankee fans because I saw some Yankee caps out there. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed at a fastball, and the count's 1-2. Yankees manager Torrey Tyson coaching at third, and hitting coach Julius Matos is coaching over at first. 1-2 pitch, swings and just gets a piece of it, fouls it to the backstop, and the count remains 1-2. On deck is Addison Maruzic. And starting to get more cloud cover. The lights are on, and they are starting to take effect. For all the clouds out there, I don't really see any rain anywhere. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, he leaves it up high, and the count goes 2-2. Whether it's the majors or the minors, it always seems to raise the level of the game just a notch when you're playing the Yankees. 2-2 pitch, fastball inside corner, strike three call. For Tampa, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the first. It's the Tampa Yankees 0 and the Brevard County Manatees against Graham Stoneburner coming to bat. Well, as we go to the bottom of the first, let's talk a little bit about SpaceCoastBaseball.com. I'm sure a lot of you have listened to these webcasts before, and you know that SpaceCoastBaseball.com, they volunteered this year to webcast 15 Manatee games for free because the Manatees do not have a radio contract. This is the last webcast we'll be doing of the regular season. If Brevard goes to the playoffs, then we may add extra webcasts, and so you'll want to check the homepage of both SpaceCoastBaseball.com and ManateesBaseball.com if the Manatees do win the second half title to see if and when we'll be calling any postseason games. We were out here last night for the doubleheader, and I did video and photography of game number 1 that was won by the Manatees 8-3. Some of the video from that game is already up on SpaceCoastBaseball.com, so if you go to the home page and look in the left column under videos, you'll see several clips already up. There's about a 10-minute video of last night's starting pitcher, Kyle Heckathorn. There's also video of home runs hit by Eric Komatsu and Sean Zaraga. And there's video of a play at home plate where Sean Zaraga tagged out Tampa third baseman Brad Suttle trying to score. I have more video to put up. It'll probably be this weekend before I get around to editing it, but be sure to check that out. Also, for those of you who are not familiar with Space Coast Stadium, especially you Tampa Yankee fans, if you're out there, howdy do, and welcome to the webcast. Always happy to have you here. If you go to SpaceCoastBaseball.com and look in that left column under videos, go down to July 30, you'll see a video walking tour I did of the stadium, and so you can see some of the unique features that we often talk about here on the webcast to give you a little bit better idea of what it looks like here. All right, bottom of the first, Peter Fatse will lead it off for the Manatees, followed by Matt Klein and Eric Komatsu. They'll be facing Graham Stoneburner, making his 18th start of the year for Tampa. 8-4 with a 2.52 ERA. Fatse batting left-handed against the right-handed Stoneburner. In 93 innings, Stoneburner 84 strikeouts, 23 walks. Graham winds at his first pitch is a fastball down low, 1-0. The Yankees have kept Stoneburner on a very limited workload this year. He's averaging just a little over 5 innings per start. 1-0 pitch. Fastball hits the outside corner, 1-1. Fatse batting .262, no home runs, 10 RBI. He's in right field tonight for Scott Krieger, who's getting the night off. 1-1 pitch. Swings and hits a line drive foul here on the left field side, and the count goes 1-2. Tampa defensively, it's Myron Leslie at first, Anderson Feliz at second, Addison Maruzic at short, and Brad Suttle at third. In the outfield, it's Ray Crummell in left, Melky Mesa in center, and Zoilo Almonte in right. Next pitch is a fastball down low, and the count's 2-2. The catcher, Jose Gil, that's G-I-L, and the pitcher once again is Graham Stoneburner. Two-two pitch. Swings and hits a little looper into left field, but it's going to hold up for the left fielder, Crummell, for the out. So with one out, that'll bring up Matt Klein, who's batting .290, no home runs, 35 RBI. Klein, one of 4 Manatees whose batting average is in the top 10 in the league. Klein at .290 is number 6 in the league. Ahead of him, Eric Komatsu. We'll talk about him in a bit, and then Sergio Miranda and also Sean Halton. First pitch to Klein. Hits a line drive. Oh, gloved by the second baseman, Anderson Feliz, diving to his right, and he kept that from going into center field for a base hit. So a gold star for Anderson Feliz, diving to his right, replacing the recently promoted Corbin Joseph, the all-star second baseman for Tampa, moved up to Double-A. But Anderson Feliz says, well, you know what? I can play at this level too. So with one out, that'll bring up Eric Komatsu, batting .321, 5 home runs, 57 RBI. His .321 average, second in the Florida State League. He's chasing Stephen Vogt of Charlotte, who's at .329. Vogt has been in a bit of a slump lately. First pitch by Stoneburner, misses way away with a fastball, 1-0. In his last 9 games, Stephen Vogt is 5 for 27, and so his average has fallen just a little bit. Next pitch by Stoneburner. Hits the outside corner with a breaking ball, and the count's 1-1. Vogt has appeared in far fewer games than Komatsu. Eric has been in 120 games coming into today, and Stephen Vogt in 97. So that means that Eric's batting average will change a lot less this time of year than Vogt. 1-1 pitch swung on and is lined foul down the left field line. Just misses Manny the Manatee, who I don't even think saw it. It hit the aluminum bleachers right behind him, and I don't know how many lives a manatee has. A cat has 9, and I don't know how many a manatee has, but Manny now has 1 less. 1-2 to Komatsu. 2 outs, bottom of the first, no score. Stoneburner's 1-2 pitch. It's the outside corner with a fastball. Strike 3 called. The radar gun measured out at 94. So the Manatees go in order here in the bottom of the first, and after 1, the Yankees nothing, the Manatees nothing. If you want to reach us by email, we'll be trying to check emails as we go through the game. The email address is home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Once again, that's home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Or you can go to the homepage at www.spacecoastbaseball.com, and at the top you can click where it says click here to send an email to spacecoastbaseball.com. And again, a reminder that because these games are being done for free, you'll note that we don't have any commercials or ads or any products to push. It's just me calling the game for 9 innings, which means you don't have to listen to commercials. It also means I don't get a break. So we just keep on chatting even through the breaks between the innings like we're doing right now. But also a reminder that we count on your donations to make this financially viable, not just the webcast, but also the videography and photography that we did out here yesterday for the camera equipment that costs to do all of that, and of course the time involved. So we appreciate those who have helped out over the year, but if you would like to donate financially to show your appreciation for what we're doing, please consider either a one-time donation or signing up for a $5 a month voluntary subscription to support SpaceCoastBaseball.com. There's a link on the SpaceCoastBaseball.com homepage which tells you how you can help support SpaceCoastBaseball.com. Daniel Merklinger warming up for his second inning of work, and he is on quite a roll. Last week he was named the Florida State League Pitcher of the Week for August 16 through the 22nd. In 2 starts that week, he was 2-0 with a 1.12 ERA in 16 innings. He struck out 17, did not walk a batter, and gave up only 9 hits. His first game was on the 16th, 8 innings, 1 run, 4 hits here at home against Dunedin. And then on the 21st, against the Daytona Cubs, 8 innings, 1 run, 5 hits. Top of the second, no score. Addison Maruzic leads it off for the Tampa Yankees, followed by Zoilo Almonte and Myron Leslie. First pitch by Merklinger. Fastball outside corner, strike 1. Maruzic batting .305 with 1 home run, 29 RBI. Next pitch by Daniel is popped up over on the first base side, drifting into foul territory. Over there is Sean Alton in the first base coach's box, and he has it for the out. So with 1 out, that brings up Zoilo Almonte, the right fielder. Switch hitter, batting right-handed against Merklinger. He's hitting .259, 3 home runs, 23 RBI. Sergio Miranda at third, playing about even with the bag. Almonte shows the bunt, but pulls the bat back, and he takes it for a strike, 0-1. Yankees manager Torrey Tyson coaching at third, trying to distract Miranda with some banter. There's a fly ball in the left field. Brock Kelgard giving ground. He's almost to the warning track, but he has it for the out. Daniel Merklinger has given up 8 home runs this year in 126 innings. Not all that much. but Space Coast Stadium is most definitely the most pitcher-friendly ballpark in a pitcher-friendly league. It's 340 down the lines, 404 to dead center, and it's very deep up the alleys here. It's not listed, but I guess it's in the 380s. Myron Leslie, the first baseman, steps in, batting .269, 4 home runs, 31 RBI, takes the pitch up and in, ball one. Next pitch by Daniel, fastball high and away, and it counts 2-0. The radar gun mounted on a pole behind home plate. The display shows up on a box beneath the scoreboard in left field, and it's showing Merklinger's velocity in the high 80s. Here's a line drive, caught by Miranda! Line drive that was ticketed for left field. Sergio Miranda at third, diving to his left, snagged that ball, and ended the inning for Tampa. The Yankees go 1-2-3, and as we go to the bottom of the second, it's the Yankees nothing and the Manatees nothing. Graham Stoneburner about to take the mound for his second inning of work, and let's tell you a little bit more about Graham. He actually began the year with the Yankees affiliate in the South Atlantic League, the Charleston River Dogs. That's one level below us. That's what's known as Low A, Basic A, or just Class A. He made 7 starts there, and in 39 innings, he had a 1-3 record, but a 2.08 ERA. In those 39 innings, 44 strikeouts and 10 walks. That got him a promotion in mid-May to the Tampa Yankees, which is where he's been ever since. Last year, he got in only one game late in the season after signing with the Yankees, and that was with Rookie A Staten Island. And he worked only one inning and gave up a hit. Stoneburner was selected by the Yankees in the 14th round of the 2009 draft. Baseball America, which is to the baseball world what Variety is to the entertainment industry, this is what they had to say about Stoneburner at the time of the June draft. This is June of 2009. They said Stoneburner, a redshirt sophomore, which that basically means is he missed 1 year, has lacked consistency in his performance, though not with his velocity. He consistently hits 94 with his four-seamer, a sign that he's come back completely healthy from a torn ACL and a back injury, which was a fractured vertebra from high school that caused him to miss his freshman season. At times, Stoneburner is just an arm strength guy with scattershot command and below-average secondary stuff. At other times, he throws strikes to all 4 quadrants at 94 and 95 miles an hour, stays tall in his delivery well for a 6', 185-pounder, and keeps the ball in the ballpark as he allowed only 2 homers all spring. At times, he shows some power on his slider, which still needs to add depth and tilt and doesn't project it's anything more than an average pitch. Angel Salome steps in against Stoneburner. Graham's first pitch, fastball inside corner, strike 1. Salome batting .282, 4 home runs, 31 RBI. Next pitch by Stoneburner. Swung on a missed on a slider, and the count goes 0-2. Concluding with Baseball America, they said his ability to pitch off his fastball was more successful in the bullpen, which was his primary role once the calendar turned to April. And this again was in college. Takes a fastball in the outside corner at 95 miles an hour, strike 3 called, and Angel Salome is the second strikeout victim for Graham Stoneburner. So that'll bring up Sergio Miranda, who's batting .294. That's good for 5th in the league. For 3 home runs and 71 RBI. That 71 ties him for 4th in the league with Daytona's Rebel Riddling. Switch hitter batting left-handed against Stoneburner. Third baseman settle in a couple of steps, and the line drive pass Settle into left field for a base hit. Miranda around first with a 1-out single, and that goes to show you that when you've demonstrated the ability to bunt, that forces that third baseman to play in a couple of extra steps. And that was the difference there, because Subtle diving to his left could not catch up with that line drive. And Sergio Miranda's on first with a one-out single. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Sean Halton, who's batting .286, 10 home runs, 67 RBI. Batting right-handed against Stoneburner. Sergio takes his lead at first, and the first pitch, fastball down the middle for a strike, 0-1. We were telling you what Baseball America had to say at the time of the June 2009 draft about Stoneburner. And just to finish that up, it says his changeup is a bit better than his slider, though it lacks life and is as straight as his fastball at times. Sergio has a good lead at first. Next pitch, fastball down low, and the count's 1-1. We'll tell you more about Stoneburner as we get through the game and give you some other opinions on Graham Stoneburner. Sergio Miranda over at first, 11 for 15 in stolen base attempts. Takes his lead. Next pitch is down low and is blocked by Hill. Snap throw down to first, but Sergio back in standing. And still continuing to filter in. It looks like we're going to have at least 1,500 tonight. There's a token toss over to first. Once again, Sergio back in standing. Miranda being held on by Myron Leslie at first. Long look by Stoneburner, and again he goes back to first, and this time Sergio dives back in. Once again, if you want to email me, home@spacecoastbaseball.com with a question, comment, a howdy do. Let me know you're out there. I want to hear from the Tampa fans and the fans up in New York. I know we had one from the Bronx the last time we did the Yankees. There's another pickoff attempt over to first, and once again, Sergio back into first base. It's a critical game for both teams. 10 games left on the calendar. And the Manatees trailing Tampa by 4.5 games for the second division title in the North Division. Not quite a must-win for the Manatees, kind of close. There goes Miranda. It's a line drive into center field for a base hit. Miranda is around second, heading for third. He's held up there on the single by Sean Halton. Sean hit the ball up the middle, and the shortstop, Maruzic, diving to his left, couldn't come up with it. It then bounced towards the second baseman, Feliz. And on the play, Maruzic seems to have injured himself as he's lying on his back behind second base. All three outfielders have come down to take a look at him, and as well as the second baseman, Anderson Feliz. The Tampa trainer is out there to take a look at him, and here comes the Tampa trainer, the Tampa manager, Torrey Tyson. The trainer is holding a towel to Maruzic's face, and I'm guessing that maybe he got himself a bloody nose. He's lifting the towel off and then placing it back down again, doing some compression there to try to stem what I'm guessing is some bleeding. I couldn't tell whether maybe he and second baseman Feliz somehow collided with each other, or maybe when he dove to his left trying to stop that ball, his face hit the ground. But shortstop Anderson Maruzic still on his back. Manager Torrey Tyson walking back towards the dugout, and no indication as of yet that he wants to make a defensive change. Addison Maruzic is sitting up now, and the trainer's still holding that towel to his face. It looks like it's maybe the right side of his face. He's now standing, and he's walking towards his position, the trainer helping him. And it looks like Addison Maruzic is going to be removed from the game. We have a new player coming on the field. Let's see if we can figure out what the change in the defensive alignment is. It's a player wearing number 56. That would be Trent Lockwood, who's a first baseman. So that would seem to suggest that Myron Leslie, who was the first baseman, has moved to another position. And he may now be at shortstop. So we'll try to get this figured out for you in just a little bit. Trying to get somebody to turn around here so we can see some numbers. And trying to figure out who's who. Well, both the middle infielders are coming in, so hopefully we can see here. Now the first baseman comes in as well, and hopefully we can see their backs and figure out who's now playing at what position. Okay, number 51, Myron Leslie is now at second base, and Anderson Feliz has moved over from second base to shortstop. So the new defensive alignment, Trent Lockwood at first, Myron Leslie at second, and Anderson Feliz at short. First pitch to Brock Kelgard is taken for a strike, 0-1. Brock is batting .247, 14 home runs, 67 RBI. His 14 dingers good for fourth in the Florida State League. Runners at the corners, one out. Stoneburner working from the stretch, and the next pitch is a fastball inside corner, 0-2. Kelgard leads the league in strikeouts with 162, but he also leads the Manatees in home runs with 14. Yankee defense playing deep, hoping to get a double play ground ball and get out of the inning. 0-2 pitch to Kelgard. Down and away, and it's blocked by the catcher Heel, 1-2. Once again, the Tampa Yankees have lost their shortstop, Addison Maruzic, who was injured diving to his left on a line drive base hit by Sean Halton. So the Yankees shifted first baseman Myron Leslie over to second, and second baseman Anderson Feliz to short, and brought in at first base Trent Lockwood, who will now be batting in Maruzic's number 5 spot in the lineup. Brock swings and hits a foul ball over on the first base side that lands up in the upper level of this concourse. And the count remains 1-2. We have basically one level of stands all the way around, but about a third of the way up we have a walkway. And so that was about halfway up the upper level. Count still 1-2 on Brock. Miranda down the line from first. Halton off of first. Fastball outside corner. Strike 3 called.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, defensive changes for the Yankees. Moving from first base to second base, number 51, Myron Leslie. Coming in to play shortstop, number 11, Anderson Feliz. And coming in to play first base, number 56, Trent Lockwood.
Well, Stoneburner's strikeout was his third, and all 3 strikeouts have been looking. Miranda remains at third, Halton at first with 2 down. And that'll bring up the catcher, Sean McCraw, batting .244, no home runs, 8 RBI. He bats left-handed against the right-handed Stoneburner. Halton at first rarely goes. He's 2 for 4 in stolen bases. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch. That was probably the changeup, and the count goes 1-1. I'm very curious to see if Myron Leslie, who's moved over from first to second, has any infield experience beyond first base, and I'm looking that up right now. Fastball misses away, and the count is 2-1. Had some questions during the year about where I get some of the data that I spew over the webcast. There is a private site that is accessible by all the minor league teams where statistical data is compiled. Checks the swing on an inside pitch, did not go around, and the count goes 2-2. So although you can find on MILB.com, you can find the most common stats for all the players, on the private site we can get a little bit more. Why they don't just make that all available to everybody, I don't know. 2-2 pitch. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Strikeout number 4 for Stoneburner, all of which have been looking. All 3 outs in the inning recorded on strikeouts. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And after 2, the Yankees nothing and the Manatees nothing. Well, in any case, I was saying that there's a minor league baseball's private stats site has some advanced statistical data, and why they don't just make that available to everybody, I really couldn't tell you. Well, I'm looking in the statistical books that I have that go through 2009. I don't see Myron Leslie listed. But we all know with the internet, go to Google or Yahoo, one of those other search places, and eventually, hopefully, you can find something. If there are any Tampa Yankee fans listening out there who happen to know the story behind Myron Leslie, if he does have experience in any other position other than first base, go ahead and give me an email, home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Now, this year, he's been mostly at first base, but he's had a few games at catcher. He even pitched once. But again, mostly at first base. But I don't see any indication that he's played second base before. Leslie out of Panama City, Florida. He's 28 years old, so he's very old for this league. Which makes me think that perhaps the Yankees signed him out of independent ball. Now let's try baseballreference.com, which is always a handy place to search for historical baseball data. www.baseball-reference.com. Well, sure enough. Originally drafted by the Oakland A's in the 8th round of the 2004 draft. And Leslie was in the A system from 2004 through 2008, and then was independent ball in 2009. Played some third base with the A's, a little second base, 7 games. So he has been at second base before. Jose Gil leads it off for the Tampa Yankees in the top of the 3rd with no score. He's batting .244 with 4 home runs, 16 RBI. He'll be followed by Anderson Feliz, and then back to the top of the lineup with Ray Crummell. Fastball on the outside corner, strike one. Next pitch by Merklinger. Swung on a miss and a fastball, and the count's 0-2. So for those of you coming in a little bit late, especially for the Tampa Yankee fans, shortstop Addison Maruzic out of the game. Swung on and missed on a curveball, strike 3. The ball must have touched the ground because Sean McCraw tagged heel after catching the ball for the final out. Third strikeout for Heel, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Anderson Feliz, who joined the Tampa Yankees about a week ago out of their rookie A team in the Gulf Coast League. He's only 5 for 12 at this level. Takes a fastball high, 1-0. 5 for 12, 1 home run, 4 RBI. In the Gulf Coast League, 198 at-bats, batting .273 with 4 home runs, 27 RBI. Breaking ball away, and it counts 2-0. The Gulf Coast League is the other league here in Florida, but it's the most basic level in organized baseball. Fastball misses down low, and it counts 3-0. Not counting the Dominican academies that all organizations have. Once the players get here to the United States, Rookie A is the lowest level, and the Gulf Coast League is the lowest level. Fastball inside, ball 4, so Daniel Merklinger, pitching so well, all of a sudden walks the number 9 hitter, Feliz, on 4 pitches. We're back to the top of the lineup for the left fielder, Ray Crummell. Crummell grounded out to first to lead off the game. Feliz has stolen 1 base since he was promoted up here to the Florida State League. In the Gulf Coast League, he was 11 for 18 in stolen bases. Halton holding him on at first, leaving a hole in the right side for the left-handed Crummell. Throw over to first, and Feliz back standing. Next pitch by Merklinger is a line drive to center field. Will it hold up for Eric Komatsu? Yes, it will. So 2 down, and Anderson Feliz still on first. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jose Perella, who singled her first time up. Now Perella batting right-handed, so that hole on the right side still there, but not as big. There's a throw over to first that Merklinger bounced on its way over to Halton, but he didn't throw it that hard that it got past Sean. First pitch by Daniel is a changeup, and it's into short right field. Coming in, calling for it is Spatze for the final out. No runs, no hits, a walk, and 1 left. And as we go to the bottom of the third, it's the Yankees nothing and the Manatees nothing. Well, we were talking a few minutes ago about the statistical information that is available on MILB.com, the public area that you and I can get to publicly, and then the private area that only the minor league teams have access to, that has a little bit more information. And have an email from Steve Meadows, who is the father of Manatees reliever Daniel Meadows, who's asking for a little bit more information. And I'll tell you what, Steve, what I'll do is after the game, I'll send you the whole page so that you can take a look and see everything that's there and available on Brian. And also, by the way, Steve, happy birthday. I know I missed you by 24 hours, but Happy birthday nonetheless. Once again, if the rest of you want to email me, whether it's your birthday or not, the email address is home@spacecoastbaseball.com. That's home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Graham Stoneburner has 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. We told you what Baseball America had to say about Stoneburner when he was drafted in June of 2009. Now, Baseball America also publishes an annual prospect handbook that comes out in spring training of every year. And let me tell you what it is that the 2010 book had to say about Graham Stoneburner as we get here into the bottom of the 3rd. For the Manatees, it'll be the number 9 hitter, Juan Sanchez, and back to the top of the lineup with Peter Fosse and then Matt Klein. Sanchez playing short tonight, giving Josh Prince the night off, batting .227 with 1 home run, 20 RBI. He bats right-handed against Stoneburner. Third baseman Brad Suttle about even with the bag. Graham winds on his first pitch. It's a right past Suttle down the left field line for a base hit. Sanchez around first. He'll hold there as the left fielder Crummell gets the ball back in. And Juan Sanchez has a leadoff single. So that'll take us to the top of the lineup with right fielder Peter Fosse, who flied out to left to lead off the bottom of the 1st. Sanchez 4 for 5 in stolen bases. A couple of weeks ago, Sanchez had probably his best game of the year, 5-hit night. Suttle in a step or 2 over there at third, looking for a bunt from Fosse to advance the runner Sanchez. Couple of steps in on the grass. Stoneburner taking a long look. Now he comes set. Fosse does show bunt, pulls the bat back, and the pitch is taken 0-1-0. Sanchez with a modest lead off at first, and there's a pickoff throw. Juan dives back in. Fosse batting left-handed, so of course if he pulls the ball, the first baseman, Lockwood, holding him on, leaves that hole on the right side. Got an email from relative of Addison Maruzic asking about his condition, and we won't get any more information up here, but I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Swung on and missed on a change-up, and the count goes 1-1. It looked to me just that he was diving to his left and maybe bopped his nose on the ground when he dove. Nothing more serious than that. I think he just had a bloody nose. He had a towel up to his nose, and he was walked off by the trainer, but I didn't see the trainer doing any of the things that would indicate a more serious condition, like, smelling salts. There goes Sanchez. Heel double clutches the throw down to second in time to get Sanchez. The shortstop, Feliz, applied the tag. So Sanchez gone 2-6. Heel double clutched on that throw, and so when I saw that, I thought, well, Sanchez has the bag, but Heel with a gun threw one out. So 1 out, the 2-1 count to Fosse as a fly ball into center field, waiting for it to come down as Melky Mason. Now a couple of steps into left center, and he has it for the second out. So with 2 down, that'll bring up second baseman Matt Klein, who lined to second baseman. Klein, who lined to the second baseman at the time, who was Anderson Feliz, diving to his right for the second out in the bottom of the first. In any case, talking about Addison's condition, we won't get that information up here. The press box gets very limited information, and especially in the visiting team's clubhouse, we won't get that. But I didn't see anything indicating the trainer was using smelling salts or any kind of a concern about a concussion or anything like that. It just looked like he probably had a bloody nose, and I think that's probably it. All right, first pitch by Stoneburner. Hits the outside corner with a fastball, 0-1. Graham takes long looks into his catcher from time to time, and now the batter Klein calls time. Baseball America's 2010 Prospect Handbook ranked Graham the number 21 pitching prospect in the Yankee system, and that was back in spring training. 0-1 pitch, down and away, and the count goes 1-1. BA wrote that Graham is the younger brother of Rangers minor league infielder Davis Stoneburner. Graham was a better prospect out of high school, but went undrafted after a stress fracture in his back kept him off the field as a senior in 2006. Taking another long look at Heel, has his sign in the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on a slider, and the count goes 1-2. After high school, Graham redshirted at Clemson after tearing the anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee. He had better success working out of the bullpen in early 2009. His relief role, medical history, and extra leverage as a draft-eligible sophomore pitched down and away, and the count goes 2-2. Helped drive him down in the 2009 draft, but the Yankees gave him a $675,000 bonus in the 14th round. Stoneburner has a compact, athletic build and generates electric stuff. His fastball sat in the mid-90s during the spring and again in instructional league, and of course we're talking about 2009. 2-2 pitch is a bouncer on one hop to Nunez. Long throw over to Lockwood, a little too long, and it goes all the way to the wall. Heading to second base will be Matt Klein. Well, Nunez began the game at second base, wound up moving over to shortstop when Maruzic had to leave the game. We're waiting to see the official ruling on the play. It's an error charge to the shortstop, Anderson Nunez. No indication that the base hit is going to be credited. It looks like it's an error all the way, and that'll bring up Eric Kamasu. He struck out looking to end the first inning. Continuing on what Baseball America had to say last spring about Graham Stoneburner, they said his slider was inconsistent at Clemson, and the Yankees made it a point of emphasis after he turned pro. The slider looked nasty last fall in instructional league, and he'll stick with it rather than developing a curve. There's a pitch on the inside corner, 0-1. Scouts who aren't high on Stoneburner consider him homer-prone because they think his four-seam fastball lacks life and his changeup lacks consistency. The Yankees have a hard time containing their enthusiasm, however. Now, as to the theory he might give up a lot of home runs, he's only given up 4 so far this year in the Florida State League. Taking a long look out at second at Klein, the next pitch misses and the count's 1-1. Stoneburner, as we said, came into this game giving up only 4 home runs in 93 innings at this level, and earlier in the year, 39 innings at Charleston, he gave up 2 home runs. Next pitch is a fastball taken for a strike, and it counts 1-2. Matt Klein off second after a 2-out throwing error by Anderson Felix. Excuse me, I've been calling him Nunez. The last game we called was against Lakeland. Their shortstop was Nunez. We still have Nunez on the mind. It's Anderson Feliz at shortstop. Time call, and Heel going out to talk to Graham Stoneburner. Once again, setting the Tampa defense. Trent Lockwood now at first. Myron Leslie has shifted over from first to second base. And Anderson Feliz from second to short, and Brad Suttle at third. The Tampa outfield with Ray Crummell in left, Melky Mesa in center, and Zoilo Almonte in right. with Jose Heel behind the plate for Graham Stoneburner, who takes a long look back at second at Klein. Now steps off the rubber. The Lees darting in at second base, and no throw by Stoneburner. Klein just walking back to the bag. One-two pitch. Hard grounder past Stoneburner. It's going to go into center field for a base hit. Coming around third, trying to score is Klein. He's in on the errant throw. Going to second is Komatsu, and he's out. Well, Komatsu hit it off the mound, and it took a nasty hop to go into center field. Diving for it was the second baseman, Myron Leslie, who managed to keep it from going into center field. The shortstop, Feliz, went over to cover the bag, and he was there to take the throw from Leslie to get Komatsu trying to go to second. So Komatsu gone on an odd 4-6, but Klein scores on the single, and it'll be an unearned run as Matt reached on that throwing error by Feliz. So, one run on 2 hits, an error, and nobody left. And after 3, here on the Space Coast, it's the Manatees 1 and the Yankees nothing. Got an email from Sean Halton's great aunt Loretta in California. Yes, I've heard you're really a great aunt. And I bet he has a great uncle, too. And really great relatives. I hear all of Sean's relatives are just great. We've been talking quite a bit about Graham Stoneburner, so let's give a little love now to our homeboy, Daniel Merklinger. We often cite the Baseball America Prospect Handbook, and there is another publication that's done by an independent analyst, John Sickles. He runs the website minorleagueball.com. It's minorleagueball.com. And he self-publishes a book every year. He's been doing this for about 10 years now, and he's a very respected independent analyst. And those of you who are more statistical bent, those of you who are sabermetricians, John is one of the leading sabermetricians, and he really is a good second opinion. And let me tell you what he had to say about Daniel Merklinger. And we'll get into that as we get into the top of the 4th. Brad Suttle leading it off for the Yankees, followed by Melky Mesa and then Trent Lockwood. Suttle struck out looking in the first. Daniel Merklinger standing on the third base side of the rubber, taking a long look in at Sean McCraw. Winds, and his first pitch of the 4th is an off-speed pitch left up high and away, 1-0. Well, now here's what John Sickles had to say about Daniel Merklinger. He says that Merklinger was drafted in the 6th round of 2007 out of Seton Hall. Fastball inside corner, 1-1. He pitched poorly in 2008 and fell off the prospect radar, but he fought his way back in 2009 with a solid performance in the Midwest and Florida State Leagues. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on a curveball, and the count goes 1-2. Merklinger has an 88 to 92 mile-an-hour fastball and a decent curve, but has had problems with his changeup and his overall command. His strikeouts to inning pitched ratio has been very strong, but his walk rates have been too high. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed on a curveball, strike 3. So Suttle is gone for the second time. Wrapping up what John Sickles had to say about Daniel Merklinger, he concludes and says, the Brewers have kept him on a tight leash in terms of workload. The strikeout rates indicate potential, but we'll learn more about his future in Double-A. Well, Daniel did not go to Double-A. He's pretty much spent the entire year here in Brevard except for one spot start at AA Huntsville. Melky Mesa at the plate, first pitch, way inside, ball one with a fastball. Mesa struck out looking to end the first. Next pitch by Dan. It's a changeup away, and the count's 2-0. As we said at the beginning of the broadcast, Merklinger was named the Florida State League Pitcher of the Week for August 16th through the 22nd. 2-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the backstop. And the count goes 2-2. The last time that Daniel faced the Tampa Yankees were 2 starts in July. On July 6th at home against Tampa, 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, 7 hits in 5 2/3 innings. And then July 11 at Tampa, curveball darts in on the inside corner, and the count goes 2-2. In Tampa on the 11th of July, he worked 6 shutout innings, giving up 7 hits, struck out 6, walked none. 2-2 pitch. Swung on a miss on a curveball. Strike 3. What a great bit of pitching by Daniel Merklinger here. Striking out first Subtle and Mesa, the 2 most dangerous hitters in the lineup, on 2-strike curveballs. So that'll bring up Trent Lockwood, who came in at first base when the shortstop Maruzic was injured. He's batting left-handed, and the first pitch fastball up high, ball 1. Lockwood batting .246 with 3 home runs, 30 RBI, and 268 at-bats. 1-0 pitch. Curveball just caught the outside corner, 1-1. Lockwood played in the Florida Winter Baseball League last October. Swings and hits a foul ball on the left side. It's going to drift over towards the aluminum bleachers and goes down a runway to leave the park. Florida Winter Baseball League was an attempt to start an independent winter league here in Florida. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball down and away, and the count goes 2-2. There were 4 teams in that league. One was here, the Space Coast Surge, that played at Coco Expo Stadium. Then there was one in Sanford. There was one in Lake County. And I'm blanking where the 4th one was. I think down in Miami, the Diamantes. There's a bouncer past Merklinger. It's going to be a base hit into center field. So 2-out single for Trent Lockwood. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Zoilo Almonte. Almonte flied out to the left. His first time up. But you can actually see pictures of Trent Lockwood in the Florida Winter Baseball League. If you go to spacecoastbaseball.com, on the menu bar, select multimedia and then photos and then professional players. First pitch, up and in, ball 1. And then when you do that, you'll see a link here that says, click here to visit the Future Angels digital photo gallery. And that's my other website, and the photos for professional players are mixed. There's a bouncer over to the left of Merklinger. He picks it up, flips it over to Halton for the final out. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's the Manatees 1 and the Yankees nothing. Well, rather than taking that convoluted way to get over to the photo gallery at FutureAngels.com, let's do it the easy way. My other website is FutureAngels.com, which covers the Angels minor leagues. It's been around since 1998, and I've been doing photography of minor league baseball ever since then. So when I started SpaceCoastBaseball.com, when I moved here a year ago, rather than having 2 different photo galleries for pro players, I decided to keep the Future Angels one going. So if you go to FutureAngels.com and over in the left column under Multimedia, click on Digital Photos. Then click on L for Lockwood, and then scroll down, and you can find alphabetically my last name, Trent Lockwood. He played for, I'm looking at the photos now, he played for Lake County. And then, of course, he was signed by the Yankees over the winter, and then he's been here at Tampa all year. This is the third game that we've covered of Tampa, and as the Yankees have come into town, I've done photography of the Yankees as well as the Manatees, and I'm still working on the Tampa photos. But a lot of the Tampa Yankee players from earlier this year are there in the FutureAngels.com digital photo gallery. So you may want to take a look at your favorite Tampa Yankee player there in the Future Angels digital photo gallery, see if he's listed. But I'm still working on July 5th, and I'm also working on yesterday's game. Bottom of the fourth, first pitch by Graham the Stoneburner, swung on and missed by Angel Salome, 0-1. Salome struck out looking to begin the bottom of the second. Next pitch by Stoneburner. Fastball hits the outside corner, 91 miles an hour, and the count's 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Blocked by Heel as it's low, and the count's 1-2. Well, we still have quite a bit of cloud cover here, but I don't see any indication of rain. Certainly no lightning out there, and haven't heard any thunder. The flags are limp out in left center field. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball to center field. Melky Mesa giving ground. He's to the warning track and has it for the out. Well, if you want to hit a home run, don't hit it to center field here. It's 404 to center field, but there's a batter's eye out there in dead center that is actually in play. The wall itself goes up to about 8 feet, but then above that is a batter's eye, and at the top of that are speakers. I guess that batter's eye goes up maybe 25, 30 feet, but the batter's eye is in play. A lot of people think it's a home run. If it hits that batter's eye, nope, it's in play. Sergio Miranda at the plate. First pitch fastball outside corner, strike one. Sergio singled his first time up and advanced to third on the single by Sean Halton. Oh, 1 pitch. Down and in, and the count's 1-1. Sergio swings, hits a line drive foul. It goes over the metal overhang on the third base side, and the count goes 1-2. Sergio, one of the best contact hitters in the Florida State League. Fastball outside corner, strike three called. Well, a rare strikeout for Sergio Miranda. He strikes out only once every 11.93 plate appearances. That's not just counting at bats, but also walks or being hit by a batter or sacrifices. And that's a rare strikeout. Again, once only 11.93 times that he walks to the plate does he strike out. But that is strikeout number 5 for Stoneburner, and with 2 down, that'll bring him Sean Halton. Slider misses away, and the count's 1-0. Well, looking at the weather forecast, it's still 10 to 15% chance of rain through midnight, so we should be okay. 1-0 pitch. Hard grounder. It's going to go into right field for a base hit. Sean might have cracked his bat on that. He hit it the opposite way, but it got past Lockwood at first and Myron Leslie at second.
The left fielder, number 33, Brock Kelgard.
So with 2 down, that'll bring up Brock Kelgard. He struck out looking his first time up. Brock has 14 dingers to lead the Manatees, and that's the 4th best total in the Florida State League. Outfield playing deep and infield playing deep too. In fact, manager Bob Missick coaching at third, he's coaching deep. First pitch swung on and foul back to the backstop, 0-1. Bob certainly wanted a lot of reaction time down there, and he's a good 40, 50 feet beyond the coach's box. The Manatees hitting coach, Dwayne Hosey, coaching over at first. Miranda off at first, and the next pitch, fastball taken down low, and the count's 1-1. It's a mandatory rule now in major and minor league baseball that the coaches on the base paths have to wear helmets. 1-1 pitch is a chopper on a bounce down to Tuttle, who goes across to Lockwood at first for the final out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And after 4, the Manatees holding on to a 1-0 lead over the Tampa Yankees. Once again, if you want to send me an email, that email address, home@spacecoastbaseball.com. If you've been listening all year long and we haven't heard from you, well, this is the last webcast we're going to be doing, at least for the regular season. So if you have any thoughts you've been wanting to get in, tonight's your last opportunity. Let's take a look at what's happening elsewhere in the Florida State League. As we said, make up doubleheaders throughout the league due to the rainouts this week. Starting with Dunedin, the Blue Jays hosting the Lakeland Flying Tigers for 2. Again, minor league doubleheaders are 7 innings each. Game number 1, Dunedin beat Lakeland 3-2 in 8 innings, scoring a run in the bottom of the 8th. Now into game number 2, and the Lakeland Flying Tigers lead Dunedin after 3, 1-0. Doubleheader in Bradenton, Pittsburgh Pirates affiliate, the Bradenton Marauders hosting the St. Lucie Mets. The Marauders won game number 1, 10-1. Game number 2, after 2 innings, the Marauders had 1-0. They're playing a doubleheader down in Palm Beach. The Cardinals hosting the Fort Myers Miracle, who are a Minnesota Twins affiliate. Fort Myers won game number 1, 4-1. And the Miracle are leading in game number 2, 3-0 after 2 innings. Now that game most certainly has playoff implications. As over in the Florida State League South, Palm Beach has got a 1-game lead over Bradenton. I'll get into the South in just a little bit. Bottom 3 of the lineup for Tampa here in the top of the 5th against Daniel Merklinger. First pitch to Myron Leslie is a fly ball into short right field. Coming in is Spotze, and he has it for the first out. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the catcher, Jose Heel, who struck out his first time up. Finishing up with the scores, doubleheader in Charlotte. The Stone Crabs, the Tampa Bay Rays affiliate, hosting the Jupiter Hammerheads. Charlotte won game 1, 4-0, and now after 2.5, no score between the Hammerheads and the Stone Crabs. Up the road in Daytona, the Cubs hosting the Clearwater Threshers. Delayed start must be due to rain. First pitch by Merklinger. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Well, that'll certainly have an impact because if that game is delayed, fastball hits the outside corner, 1-1. Coming into tonight, Tampa has a 2-game lead on Daytona and 4.5 on the Manatees. That means Brevard 2.5 behind Daytona. 1-1 pitch. Checks his swing. Did he go around? No, and the count's 2-1. This is the last game of that homestand between the Cubs and the Threshers. Now, Daytona will be in Clearwater next week, and if need be, they could make up that game there. Fastball inside corner is called for a strike, and the count goes 2-2. And it does sometimes happen, especially in situations like this late in the season where a game might be critical, that a game could be made up on the road. Swung on a miss on a curveball, and Jose Gil goes down swinging for the second time. That's 6 strikeouts for Daniel Merklinger. And that brings up the shortstop, Anderson Felice, who walked his first time up. Now, the league could also choose to simply cancel that game. Fastball, strike 1. We talked about earlier, Tampa has taken advantage of 3 cancellations due to rain. 0-1 pitch is a bouncer on a hop to Sergio Miranda at third, who goes and across to first to Halton for the out. 1, 2, 3 go the Tampa Yankees. And we're halfway through the game. The Manatees leading the Yankees by a score of 1-0. Now, those games that were canceled off the Tampa schedule, August 17th, they were hosting the Daytona Cubs. And then on the 23rd, there was a makeup doubleheader scheduled for Lakeland, and that was canceled due to the rain. And the reason that those games were canceled was that those teams were not scheduled to play again. So, for example, August 17th, Daytona and Tampa were not scheduled to play again in the regular season, and the same going for Tampa and Lakeland on August 23rd. So those games will not be made up, and therefore Tampa has to play 3 fewer games than the teams chasing them. Now, if tonight's game between Daytona and Clearwater is rained out, those 2 teams do meet next week in Clearwater. And my guess is that because they are going to be meeting each other again, that game would be made up. It would be a make-up doubleheader. And Daytona could play as the home team in Clearwater's ballpark. But I don't know if they'll actually do that or not. Typically when I've seen that, it's usually a game that was suspended and it needed to be completed. And, of course, if it was moved on the road, then it would keep on going the way it was. I saw that once in the California League where a suspended game was being completed, and it was a game that occurred in the other team's ballpark. So you had the home team actually playing the role of the visitor. Bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Brevard, trying to expand their lead on the Tampa Yankees. It'll be catcher Sean McCraw, followed by shortstop Juan Sanchez, and then top of the lineup for Peter Foxe. Both pitchers dealing well. The difference, 1 unearned run scratched out by the Manatees in the bottom of the 3rd. Matt Klein reached on a 2-out throwing error and then scored on a single by Eric Komatsu. First pitch by Graham Stoneburner. Fastball misses way away, 1-0. Five strikeouts so far for Graham Stoneburner. 1-0 pitch. Misses away and the count goes 2-0. Now the Yankees have kept Stoneburner on a fairly tight leash, and he usually works about 5 innings. Looking down at the Tampa bullpen, I don't see anybody warming up. 2-0 pitch, breaking ball away, and the count's 3-0. Well, we haven't seen Stoneburner struggle at all tonight, but he's gone 3-0 on the number 8 hitter, Sean McCraw. 3-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle, strike 1. McCraw batting left-handed against the right-handed Stoneburner. 3-1 pitch. Swings and fouls it back this way to our left. It goes off the facade of a luxury suite and bounces back into the stands. So the count goes 3-2 to Sean McCraw. On deck is Juan Sanchez. 3-2 pitch. Swings and pops a foul back this way a little bit closer to us, but it goes up on the roof. We mentioned before that when Sean McCraw is in the lineup, that for some reason the Manatees do not have a headshot of him, so they show a picture from the 1980s of Tom Selleck on the scoreboard. 3-2 pitch. Swings and hits a foul ball again. This is over on the third base side. Bounces on the metal overhang and rolls off into nowhere. Sean McCraw trying to make sure every fan leaves with a souvenir. 3-2 pitch. It's a slow roller foul up the third baseline. That's 4 fouls in a row, I believe, for Sean McCraw. Several of the fans are lining up just beyond the center field wall. If you've been with us before, you know that there's a promotion at the end of the 5th inning called Who Let the Dogs Out, in which they open the gate in center field and let the fans race across the field. 3-2 pitch, checks his swing, ball 4. That's the first walk for Stoneburner. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, shortstop Juan Sanchez, who singled his first time up. McCraw, 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts. Brad Suttle, I've got to think, over there at third, is going to be in some steps looking for Sanchez to bunt. The Manatees would definitely like to have an extra run here, 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th. Suttle in 1 foot on the grass. Does bunt, and he bunts a foul back into the net. 0-1. Now keep in mind, Tampa playing with a makeshift middle infield. Myron Leslie, who started the game at first, has moved over to second base. And the second baseman, Anderson Feliz, has moved over to short after Addison Maruzek left the game with what appeared to be a bloody nose. Suttle in a couple more steps on the grass. Sanchez shows bunt again. He again bunts it back this way, and this time he actually gets it over the net, and it rattles around in the stands, and the count goes 0-2. So with the 0-2 count, that means Suttle at third can play a little bit deeper. Now, if you ever wonder why it is that a bunt with 2 strikes is treated like a regular strike and therefore you strike out, my guess is that rule probably goes back to almost the end of the 19th century. There's a throw over to first, and back standing is Sean McCraw. You think back, that was the dead ball era where home runs were a rarity, and the game really appreciated the ability to bunt and steal bases and move runners over. So there were probably a lot of hitters who were quite skilled at laying down bunts, and maybe what they did to wear down a pitcher is they just kept laying down bunt after bunt after bunt into foul territory. Swings and hits a hard bounder right over to first to Lockwood. He tries to pick off McCraw going to second. He throws it into left field. McCraw holds at second. So Sanchez gets a hard grounder down to the first baseman, Halton, who stepped on the bag, and Sanchez has erased 3 unassisted. McCraw advancing to second on the ground ball. And Lockwood tried to throw him out, threw it down to second, but it went past the shortstop, Feliz in the left field, but it was quickly backed up. McCraw did not have a chance to advance, so if he's on second on the fielder's choice, there's no error there. With 1 out, go back to the top of the lineup to Peter Botze, who's flied out twice. Theoretically speaking, I mean, there's no way a batter or a runner could do this, but theoretically speaking, McCraw could have stayed right there on first. Swung on and missed on a curveball, 0-1. Because the ball was hit in such a way that Halton spun to his left, backhanded the ball, and stepped right on the bag. And as soon as he did that, the force was off. And once the force was off, McCraw really didn't have to head for second. But, of course, there's no way that he could have anticipated that. There's a bouncer into right field for a base hit. Bob Missick will hold up Sean McCraw at third. So a two-out single by Peter Fosse to put runners at the corner. Runners at the corners with one out. And that'll bring up Matt Klein, who lined to second and then scored the only run of the game so far when he reached second base on a throwing error by the shortstop Anderson Feliz, and then later scored on the single by Eric Komatsu. And there's now some stirring in the Tampa bullpen. As we said, typically Stoneburner doesn't go more than 5 innings. The Tampa bullpen runs behind the left field wall, parallel to the wall from the foul pole, about a third of the way out into left field. The Manatees bullpen down the right field line is tucked behind the stands. We can't see what goes on there. Corner infielders are drawn in. Line drive down the left field line, just foul. Foul by about a foot. Stoneburner left that ball up, and Matt Klein was all over it. And it would have scored McCraw at third for sure. I don't know if they would have got Fosse. I don't know what kind of arm Ray Crummell has in left. But that was at least a double. 0-1. Fosse, 5 out of 6 in stolen base attempts this year. Being held on by Lockwood over at first. Stoneburner calls time, and now out comes manager Torrey Tyson, and catcher Jose Heel, of course, out to talk to them, and first baseman Trent Lockwood, second baseman Myron Leslie, and the shortstop Anderson Feliz, and finally joining them is third baseman Brad Suttle. I posed the question a couple of times this year, how do they decide who comes to the mound? And I asked Manatees hitting coach Dwayne Hosey that question yesterday. And he said that really there is no rule. He said if it's just a coach coming out to talk to the pitcher, of course it's going to be the pitcher and the catcher, but otherwise it's whoever wants to listen in. Now, that would be different if there was a situational play on, and that might be the situation here where you have runners at the corners and you want to have a discussion with the infielders about how to play a particular situation. And then, of course, he would wait for the infielders to come in. No rhyme or reason to it, just like pretty much the rest of how baseball is played. McCraw off third, Fosse off first, one out. Manatees looking for an extra run. They lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. 0-1 pitch, down and away, and it counts 1-1. Now, we can't tell who it is that's throwing down in the Tampa bullpen. The left field wall out there is about 5 feet tall, so about all we can see of who's throwing is about from the letters up. We really can't see a number. Suttle even with the runner at third. Lockwood holding on the runner at first. Stoneburner steps off, fakes a throw to third, looks over to first. No, it's not a balk. He stepped off the rubber, and it's legal. The only way we can tell who's throwing down a Tampa bullpen is if this guy throws both left and right-handed. That would tip us that it's Pat Venditti, the switch throwing pitcher. Fastball outside corner, and the count's 1-2. Tampa has a reliever, Pat Venditti, who we've had the privilege of seeing pitching a couple times, who can throw either left or right-handed, equally good at both. So if we see this guy switch arms out there, we know it's Venditti. 1-2 pitch. It's a slow roller down to the shortstop Feliz. He goes to the second baseman Leslie for one, on to first, not in time. McCraw scores from third, and the Manatees lead at 2-0. Well, keep in mind that Tampa has a first baseman playing second base. Myron Leslie did a halfway decent job of turning the pivot there at second base, but he wasn't able to get the throw over in time to beat Klein. Meanwhile, Sean McCraw scored from third, and now the Manatees lead at 2-0, and that'll bring up the center fielder Eric Kamatsu, who struck out looking and singled. Batting left-handed, and so he's got that big hole over on the right side with Lockwood holding on Klein. First pitch is taken down and away, ball one. Matt Klein, 13 for 28 in stolen bases. One-0 pitch. Swung on, and it's fouled over on the third base side, and it's going to come down behind the Tampa dugout. Now, talking about Pat Venditti, the switch throwing pitcher. As I said, I'm working on some photos from earlier in the year when Tampa was here, and there are photos now of Pat Venditti in the FutureAngels.com digital photo gallery. So if you go over there and you click on V for Venditti, you can see him throwing from both sides. I do have video, and it's on the to-do list because I think he's such a unique skill that I want to have it online. I just haven't gotten to it yet. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, a line drive foul to the far left of the press box, and the count goes 1-2. That video of Venditti throwing here, I think it's from the July 5 game. And like I said, it's on the to-do list. If any Tampa fans or Yankee fans are out there, or the Venditti family, I've got the video. I just haven't had a chance to edit it and post it yet. But it will be on SpaceCoastBaseball.com once it's done, probably within a couple of weeks. There's a snap throw over to first, and diving back in is Matt Klein. Why Venditti has not been promoted is beyond me. He's one of the best relievers here in the Florida State League. But we'll talk more about him should he come in to pitch tonight. Stonebirder, one pitch from getting out of this inning. 1-2 pitch is a grounder down to the shortstop Feliz, who goes across to Lockwood at first for the final out. So the Manatees tack on another run on a hit, a walk, no errors, and one left. And after 5 innings, the Manatees now lead the Yankees 2-0. And this is the Who Let the Dogs Out promotion we told you about, where kids of all ages gather behind the center field fence, and then the doors opened after the 5th inning. They run from center field out to a gate just beyond the visitor dugout on the third base side, with traffic directed out there by Manatees staff. On busy nights, which are usually Friday and Saturday nights, they'll actually run them in both directions, where some of them will go out towards the Manatees dugout to the gate just beyond that on the first base side. It's mostly children, but you do see some adults out there. And I bring up the rear as a parent carrying a child, looks like maybe about a year and a half old. Top of the 6th, Daniel Merklinger on the mound for his 6th inning of work through 5. No runs, 2 hits. Daniel has struck out 6 and has walked 1. So after winning the Florida State League Pitcher of the Week award last week, he's off to his 3rd quality start in a row. The Manatees in the first half were 27-42, worst record in the Florida State League North. Coming into tonight, it's a different story, 34-26. One of the big reasons for that has been the turnaround in the starting pitching between Merklinger and Kyle Heckathorn and Cody Scarpetta and R.J. Seidel. all have done a dynamite job in the starting rotation. Darren Bird, as of late, has been in the starting rotation. He has pitched well, too. Well, I promised we'd talk about the race in the South Division. We'll do that here in the top of the 6th. 2-0 Brevard. It'll be the top of the lineup for Tampa. Ray Crummell, followed by Jose Perella and Brad Suttle. Crummell 0 for 2, grounded to first and lined to center. First pitch by Daniel Merklinger. Curveball up and in. Ball 1. Next pitch by Daniel. Fastball up and in, 2-0. This is the time of year when young pitchers kind of tend to run out of gas, especially those who haven't played a full season before. Now, Merklinger is a little bit older. He's 24. Fastball taken, and it's 2-1. Dan will turn 25 on November 19, so he's a little bit older than some of his pitching teammates. 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside corner, 2-2. This is Dan's 4th professional season, so he's been around the block. Swung on a miss at a curveball, bounces in the dirt. McCraw goes down to Sean Halton at first for the out. So it's the 7th strikeout for Merklinger, with Crummell retired 2-3. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jose Perella, who's singled and flied out to right. In any case, Merklinger drafted in the 2007 draft in the 6th round by the Milwaukee Brewers, played a half season in the Rookie A Pioneer League with Helena in 2007. First pitch is changeup 0-1. Spent all of 2008 in the Low A West Virginia, in the Low A South Atlantic League, playing for West Virginia. Swung on a miss on a fastball, and the count's 1-2, or 0-2, excuse me. So all of 2008 with West Virginia in the South Atlantic League, and then 2009 he split between the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the Midwest League and the Manatees. Fastball way high, and the count's 2-2. So this is Daniel's 3rd full season and his 4th professional season, so he's used to going this far. Next pitch is a line drive foul on the right side and blissfully misses everybody, and the count remains 1-2. Now, Graham Stonebrenner turns 23 on September 29. So, that and the fact that we mentioned he's had lower back problems and other injuries in his career, that could be one reason why he's limited to 5 innings. Next pitch is foul back to the net. The count remains 1-2. Cody Scarpetta in the Manatees rotation has struggled as of late. Yesterday was his 22nd birthday. Swung on a miss, fastball, strike 3. 8th strikeout for for Daniel Merklinger. And that'll bring up Brad Suttle, who struck out twice. But speaking of Cody Scarpetta, he's an example of what I was saying about young pitchers maybe running out of gas this time of year. He was selected in the 2007 draft, but his contract was voided, so he didn't pitch in 2007. Fastball outside corner, strike 1. So in 2008, Cody was in Rookie A ball for a half year. And then he had a full season last year between the Midwest League and 1 game at Double A. Next pitch misses and the count's 1-1. So he's still fairly young, and he's not really used to going this far, and I'm sure that the innings he's thrown so far this year are the most he's done in his professional career. Suttle checks his swing on a fastball to not go around, and the count's 2-1. Cody has gone 118 in the third innings so far this year. 2-1 pitch. Inside corner of the fastball that counts 2-2. Now Steven Strasburg, who with all the hype has already got 1 foot in the Hall of Fame, he's not officially shut down yet, but he's gone on the disabled list for the second time this year since making it to the Nationals back in late May, early June. And he's about Scarpetta's age. Swung on a miss on a curveball. McCraw will pick it up off the ground and go to Halton for the final out. So Daniel Merklinger strikes out the side. That should be 9 strikeouts. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 9 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And as we go to the bottom of the 6th, it's the Manatees 2 and the Yankees nothing. Well, a reminder, if you live here in the Space Coast area, we have 3 games left in the regular season here at Space Coast Stadium. It's a 3-game series this weekend with the Clearwater Threshers, the Philadelphia Phillies affiliate. With game number 1 tomorrow night at 7:05, game number 2 Saturday night at 7:05, and then the season finale is on Sunday at 1:05. If you want to attend one of the final 3 games of the season, you can order them through the Manatees box office. You can order them over the phone with a credit card by calling area code 321-633-9200. That's 633-9200. Or you can order them through the Manatees website at www.manateesbaseball.com. Or you can just walk up to the ticket booth. We are the spring training home of the Washington Nationals, and with a capacity of 7,500, there's plenty of room for everybody. General admission, $7 per person. Sit anywhere in the stands that doesn't have a season ticket holder seat sticker on it, and there aren't many of those. So plenty of those available for you, and come out and see the Manatees as they try to win the division title here in the second half. Well, as we suspected, Graham Stoneburner is done for the night. So for Stoneburner, 2 runs, only one of which was earned. 6 hits. He struck out 5. Let me double check on that. I have any more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he gave up 1 walk that I see. The new pitcher is number 33, Adam Olbrachowski, spelled Olbrachowski. Adam Olbrachowski. Right-handed reliever will face Angel Salome here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch by Adam, swung on and missed, 0-1 on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Adams' next pitch is a hard grounder past Lockwood. Leslie at second manages to catch up with it in short right field, but it'll be a base hit for Angel Salome.
The third baseman, number 10, Sergio Miranda.
So that'll bring up Sergio Miranda, who's singled and struck out. Adam Olbrachowski making his 29th appearance of the year. He does have 1 start. Overall record of 2-2 with a 4.22 ERA. In 59 2/3 innings, 56 hits, 49 strikeouts, 27 walks. The league betting just 195 against Olbrachowski. 252 against Olbrachowski. First pitch misses and the count's 1-0. League betting 252 against Adam. Salome at first. No stolen bases this year. Hasn't even tried one. Sergio batting left-handed. Checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. And the count's 1-1. Sergio's a switch hitter, batting on the left side against the right-handed Olbachowski, and of course with Trent Lockwood holding on Salome at first, big hole on the right side, and you've got the first baseman playing second. Next pitch foul back into the net, and the count goes 1-2. Myron Leslie had to move over from first to second base, and second baseman Anderson Feliz moved over to short when Addison Maruzic suffered what appeared to be a bloody nose, diving to his left side after ball. Pitch is swung on. It's a slow roller. First pass, Lockwood. It's a race to first, not in time to get Miranda, and stopping at second is Salome. It's going to be ruled an error on Trent Lockwood. It was a slow roller up the line. Lockwood came in and tried to one-hand it and got underneath his glove. Right behind him was Olbachowski racing after the ball. He tried to pick up the ball and tag Miranda at the same time, but Sergio won that race, and advancing to second is Salome. So that'll bring up Sean Halton, 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Halton, with 10 home runs, certainly has the opportunity to pad the Manatees' lead here. First pitch is a breaking ball, and it misses 1-0. Well, checking the Daytona Cubs website, they are listing that the game tonight against Clearwater is postponed. Curveball misses again, and the count's 2-0. The headline on DaytonaCubs.com says game currently delayed, but you look over to the right where they show the game-by-game results, and it says postponed. Sean swings and fouls the ball right in back into the net. It counts 1-1. So as we said, if that is a postponement, that is going to impact the divisional race. And in fact, looking at MILB.com, it is officially postponed. Next pitch misses and the count goes 2-1. So if it's postponed and not canceled, that means that game will be made up sometime next week when the Daytona Cubs are in Clearwater. Two-one pitch. There's a hard shot to left field, but it's going to hold up with left fielder Crummell. Racing back to second is Salome, and Sergio Miranda jogs back into first. Well, Sean hit a bullet, but it was right at left fielder Crummell. So with 2 down, that'll bring up Brock Kelgard, who struck out looking and grounded to third. So with Daytona postponed tonight, the winner of this game picks up a half game on the Cubs. First pitch by Olbachowski is a fly ball sky high to right field, giving some ground as the right fielder Almonte for the second out. So the Manatees had runners at first and second with nobody out, but haven't been able to advance them, and with 2 down, that would bring up, like the man said, the catcher, Sean McCraw, who struck out looking and walked. First pitch by Adam hits the outside corner with a fastball, 0-1. Olbachowski's velocity seems to be topping out around 92. Next pitch, checked his swing, didn't go around, the count's 1-1. Time call, and the catcher, Jose Gil, goes out to talk to Olbachowski. Once again, that's spelled Olbrychoski. Salome off second, Miranda off first. 1-1 pitch. It's a bouncer over on the right side. Olbrachowski fields in and tosses it over to Lockwood for the final out. So the Manatees failed to capitalize on runners on first and second with nobody out. No runs, a hit, an error, and 2 left. And after 6, it's the Manatees 2 and the Yankees nothing. Well, I suspect we might be picking up some Daytona Cubs fans switching over after their game was postponed due to rain. So if there are any Daytona Cubs fans out there who are listening, feel free to give me an email at home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Or anybody else listening, it's home@spacecoastbaseball.com. But if there are any Daytona fans out there who've switched over and can tell us a little bit more about what happened with the postponement this evening, we'd certainly want to hear about it. Well, I've been trying to get in what's going on in the other divisional race, in the South Division. The first half was won by the Charlotte Stonecrafts, who went 43-26. In the second half of the South Division, the Palm Beach Cardinals came in tonight with a 1-game lead over the Bradenton Marauders, who are a Pittsburgh Pirates affiliate. Charlotte, who's already seeded, is in third place, 3 games out. And the Fort Myers Miracle are 3.5 out at 28-29. If Charlotte were to make a run in the next 10 days and win both halves, then they would face in the first round of the playoffs the team with the best overall record. That would be them, and of course they can't face themselves. So the team after that, coming into tonight, would have been Palm Beach, who's 1.5 behind Charlotte, and then Bradenton at 2.5. Now, that's before tonight. So looking at the scoreboard right now, again, lots of make-up doubleheaders up and down the league. The ones affecting that South Division race, there's a doubleheader at Bradenton. The Marauders hosting the St. Lucie Mets. Bradenton won the first game 10-1, and they're leading in game 2 4-0. So Bradenton on their way to sweeping that doubleheader. They were 1 game behind Palm Beach. The Cardinals lost game 1 at home against Fort Myers 4-1. So that would have tied Bradenton and Palm Beach right there, and the Miracle leading Palm Beach 3-1 after 4. So right now, Bradenton looking like they're going to go into first place. First pitch by Daniel Merkingler to Melky Mason. This is 1-0. So we can certainly see a change in the lead in the Florida State League South tonight. Next pitch by Merklinger. It's the inside corner with a changeup, and the count's 1-1. Merklinger has struck out 9 through 6 innings. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and it's a foul ball over on the right side, and the count is 1-2. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the Cardinals lose both games to the Miracle, and Bradenton wins both games against St. Lucie. Fastball up high, and it counts 2-2. If that's the way it ends, then Bradenton will have a 1-game lead over Palm Beach, and Fort Myers will be within 2.5 of Bradenton. Swung on a missed on a curveball, and that's the 10th strikeout for Merklinger, and his 4th in a row, all swinging. What a great job by Daniel Merklinger.
The first baseman, number 56, Trent Lockwood.
So that'll bring up the first baseman, Trent Lockwood, who singled his last time up. Batting left-handed against the right-handed Merklinger. Left-handed Merklinger, lefty to lefty. What am I thinking? I'm a lefty. Curveball hits the outside corner, 0-1. We lefties have got to stick together. How could I miss that Daniel's left-handed? He's right there in front of me. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and it's a bouncer past the mound. Slow roller to second. Klein bobbles it, and no play on Lockwood. It's ruled a hit for Trent Lockwood. Well, the only thing that made that close was that Lockwood is not blessed with speed. So he's on first with 1 out. And that'll bring up Zoilo Almonte, who flied out to left and grounded back to the mound. Almonte has 3 home runs this year, and he does theoretically represent the tying run. Again, talking about what's happening in the South Division, Charlotte, fastball misses away, 1-0. Charlotte, which won the first half, they also have a doubleheader tonight against Jupiter, the worst team in the league. They won Game 1 4-0. Game 2 after 5. Not only are the Stone Crabs winning 4-0, but they have a no-hitter going against Jupiter. Next pitch is taken for a strike, 1-1. So let's say Charlotte sweeps that doubleheader. They would remain 2 games behind Bradenton, which would then be in first place, and they would be 1 game behind Palm Beach. Next pitch misses, and the count's 2-1. Well, this is why most minor leagues divide into 2 halves, is to create these artificial half-season title races. Pitch taken for a strike, and it's 2-2. Florida State League has a 140-game schedule divided into 2 70-game halves. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed on a changeup, and that is strikeout number 10-11 for Daniel Merklinger. Yep, 11 strikeouts for Daniel Merklinger. Goodness gracious. Well, the league knew what they were doing when they named him the pitcher of the week last week. And if anything, he's just gone into a higher gear. Myron Leslie at the plate takes a fastball in the outside corner, strike 1. Next pitch by Dan leaves the fastball up high, and it counts 1-1. Merklinger had an 11 strikeout game on July 22nd against Fort Myers, a 13 strikeout game against St. Lucie on the 28th of July, and a 12 strikeout game in his last start. Misses down and away, and the count's 2-1. So he needs 1 more strikeout to equal what he did in his last start, 2 to tie his best performance of the season. Lockwood off first in the 2-1 pitch. Curveball inside corner. Did he go around? No. Well, to be honest, I didn't think he went around. I thought maybe it caught the inside corner of the plate. But in any case, it's 3-1. Lockwood with a timid lead off first, being held on by Halton. Merklinger's 3-1 pitch to Leslie is a fly ball left center field. It's deep. Kelgard to the warning track to the wall. Catches it, and did he hold on to it? He dropped it over the wall. Home run, Myron Leslie. We are tied. Space Coast Stadium has the deepest dimensions of any park in the league, and it's a 5-foot-high wall out there. A fan retrieved the home run ball, threw it back on the field. Brock picked it up and threw it back on the berm where the children are chasing after it. That don't happen at Wrigley Field. But in any case, it's a 5-foot-high wall out there, and it's probably about 375 or so where Leslie hit the ball. Jose Heel at the plate. Swings and misses at a curveball, 0-1. Brock, at 6'5", certainly tall enough to lean over the fence. And that's what he did. And it was in his glove, and he dropped it over the fence. And it's a home run that ties the game for the Yankees. 0-1 pitch. Line drive into center field. Eric Kamasu to his left has it for the final out. But the Yankees tie it up on a 2-run homer by Myron Leslie. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the stretch half of the 7th. It's the Tampa Yankees 2, the Brevard Manatees 2. And I'll let you listen to Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
God bless America. We hope you're enjoying Military Appreciation Night. Don't forget, it's also Thirsty Thursday, so enjoy $2 fertilizer and Coca-Cola products. Again, on the concourse, you can visit the Vietnam Veterans tables as well as the Hooters tables. And remember, drop by Hooters after the game for 2-for-1 drinks at the Merritt Island and Melbourne locations. You can also visit the table of South Animal Care in the Conference Center. Buy tickets for packages valued up to $600. The drawing for the winners will be held this Saturday at Beef O'Reilly's. Folks, a reminder, the Manatees are home tomorrow night. The opponent will be different, the Clearwater Threshers. Friday and Saturday, 7:05. Remember, the regular season home finale Sunday afternoon at 1:05. We hope to see you this weekend. Leading over the Manatees is the bottom of the 7th inning. The shortstop for 30, Juan Sanchez.
Bottom of the 7th and a 2-2 tie, the Tampa Yankees and the Brevard County Manatees. Adam Obertowski on the mound for his second inning of work. Juan Sanchez leading it off in the bottom of the 7th in the first pitch. 92-mile-an-hour fastball inside, ball one. Sanchez has singled and grounded out to first. 1-0 pitch. Fastball up and in, and the count goes 2-0. Pitch. Curveball way inside and falling down is Sanchez. That had a very late break to it. And it almost looked like it was going to catch the inside part of the plate, but I don't blame Juan for falling on his derriere. I would have done that too. 3-0 pitch. Fastball into the outside corner, 3-1. After Juan, it'll be the top of the lineup with Peter Fatse and then Matt Klein. 3-1 pitch. And he fists it into short center field. It's now carrying, and Melky Mesa has it for the first out in center field.
The right fielder, number 9, Peter Fatse.
So back to the top of the lineup for Peter Fatse, who's flied out to left, flied out to center, and singled. Daniel Merklinger cruising along with another stellar outing. He had 11 strikeouts, only one walk when he gave up that 2-out home run in the top of the 7th to Myron Leslie. And it's a 2-2 tie. First pitch swung on and missed, 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1. Again, coming into tonight with 10 games left on the schedule, Tampa had a 4.5-game lead on the Manatees. 2-game lead on the Daytona Cubs, but Daytona was rained out tonight. 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses away, and the count's 1-1. That was clocked at 94. So we're assuming that Daytona will make up that game against Clearwater next week when they're in Clearwater for 3. 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses off the outside corner, and the count's 2-1. Good and rowdy crowd tonight. It is Thursday, which means Coca-Cola and beers are $2 a piece. Swings and fouls it back to the left of us, bounces off of a luxury suite, and the count's 2-2. On deck, Matt Klein. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Doesn't nibble at it, and the count goes 3-2. Boy, if we could have weeknight crowds like this all the time, I'd say take it. Good rowdy crowd, about 1,500 to 2,000. 3-2 pitch, swings and fouls a fastball over on the left side, and the count remains full, 3-2. The wind's still blowing in from the east-southeast. I guess somewhere around 6-7 miles an hour. That would be from left center field in towards the plate. 3-2 pitch, outside corner on the fastball, strike 3 called. Peter Fatse disagrees. Bob Missick running down and tell Peter to knock it off. Peter walks away, has to get a word or two in, but home plate umpire Ian Fazio rather tolerant. I don't think we gave you the umpires for tonight. The home plate umpire is Ian Fazio, F-A-Z-I-O. And the infield umpire is Gabe Morales, M-O-R-A-L-E-S. 2 down, and Matt Klein steps in, line to second. Reached on an error and scored, and reached on a fielder's choice. First pitch, called for a strike, 0-1. Next pitch to Matt. Down and in, and the count's 1-1. comes 1-1 pitch. Fastball way away, and the count's 2-1. Wow, it seems like every webcast we've done the last few weeks has been a nail-biter or something interesting has happened or we've gone to extra innings. This game, no exception. 2-2 tie, bottom of the 7th. Fastball away, 3-1. Overchowski looks like he overthrows. When his velocity is higher, the last couple of minutes, 94, he misses away. If he backs off the velocity maybe a mile or two, he might have better control. But one pitch away from walking Matt Klein with 2 down. 3-1 pitch. Swings and fouls it right back into the net, and the count's full, 3-2. Eric Komatsu waits on deck. Three-2 pitch. Swings it, gets a line drive past Leslie at second into right field for a base hit. Klein around first and holds. Remember, that's a first baseman playing at second, and that ball hit to his left. He really doesn't have the range to play second base. Made an effort for it, but couldn't come up with it. So Klein is on first with 2 down, and that'll bring up Eric Komatsu, who struck out looking, singled, and grounded to short. The left-handed hitting Komatsu came into the game batting .321, second best batting average in the league. And with Lockwood holding on Klein at first, big hole in the right side, and even helping out with that is that Leslie is not a real second baseman at second. First pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. So basically, if Eric can pull the ball, he has a pretty good chance of getting it into right field. The outfield defense is straight away for Eric. Breaking ball down inside, and it counts 1-1. Matt Klein, 13 for 28 and stolen bases this year. Now Leslie cheating even more over towards first base from second. Next pitch is high, and it counts 2-1. It's almost as if they have a shift on from Eric Komatsu. And Leslie, again, a first baseman playing second tonight, is a little bit more than halfway over between second and first, playing right on the lip of the dirt. Now a step onto the grass. Fastball hits the outside corner, and the count's 2-2. The shortstop, Feliz, shaded way over, almost to second base. He's at a 45-degree angle from second base, maybe about 30 feet away, but shifted way over. There goes Klein, 2-2 pitch, swung on. It's a hard grounder foul up the first baseline past Dwayne Hosey, coaching at first. Not quite a must-win game for the Manatees, but pretty darn close to it. They're 4.5 behind Tampa with 10 to play. They win tonight, it's 3.5. They lose tonight, it's 5.5 with 9 to play. 2-2 pitch, down and in, and the count goes full 3-2. Throw down to first by Heel, but Klein back standing. If the Manatees win tonight to cut the deficit to 3.5 with 9 to play, keep in mind they have 3 games against the Yankees in Tampa next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if they could pick up another game on Tampa over the weekend and go into that series 2.5 back, then they have some possibilities. There goes the runner. 3-2 pitch is a slow bouncer down to the third baseman, Subtle, who goes on to Lockwood for the final out. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. And after 7, it's the Yankees 2 and the Manatees 2. Well, Eric Komatsu just made the final out, and Minor League Baseball's Florida State League website had an article on Eric a couple of weeks ago. And reading from that article, I'll tell you what it had to say. It was written by Lee Diekemper, Diekemper, special to MILB.com. And he begins, most minor leaguers consider good statistics and a bump up the organizational ladder a successful season. Just the fact that Brevard County Manatees center fielder Eric Komatsu is playing makes this season a success. It doesn't hurt that Komatsu is tagging the ball with regularity. And it notes that Eric is out of Cal State Fullerton. It says last year Komatsu was just hoping to get into a game. He battled the injury bug and the bug won. Komatsu's series of injuries actually began before the 2009 season opened. Selected by the Brewers in the 8th round of the 2008 draft, he was set to play for Class A Wisconsin in the Midwest League. When facing a college team in an exhibition game, he suffered a concussion during a collision at third base. When he was finally cleared to play, Komatsu wasn't healthy for long. On the first swing of his first at-bat of the season, he snapped a bone in his wrist. While rehabbing in the rookie-level Arizona League, he blew out his hamstring. Perhaps trying to rush back, Komatsu repeatedly pulled the same muscle. He pulled it so much that he wound up tearing it. So his goal this year was to simply stay healthy. And he notes that he changed his lifestyle, going into a heavy lower body weightlifting regime during the off-season to make sure his hamstrings would withstand the rigors of a full spring and summer. And he's also trying to eat more healthy. All right, Daniel Merkingler still on the mound as we go to the top of the 8th in a 2-2 tie. It'll be the number 9 hitter, Anderson Feliz, and back to the top of the lineup, Ray Crummell, and then Jose Perella. First pitch by Daniel Merkingler misses away. Ball 1. I've seen a couple of flashes of lightning way out to the south. 1-0 pitch is line drive back into the net, and the count goes 1-1. Those flashes of lightning just out of the corner of my eye, looking from the press box down on the field, it would be to the extreme right. 1-1 pitch. Fastball taken for a strike, and the count's 1-2. But it's just over the metal overhang, and I couldn't quite see where it was. I don't think it's anything imminent. Curveball, swung on a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 12 for Daniel Merklinger.
The left fielder, number 22, Ray Crummell.
So that takes us back to the top of the lineup to Ray Crummell, who grounded to first, lined to center, and struck out. 12 strikeouts, second best of the year for Daniel, one off of his best, which was a 13 strikeout effort. First pitch swung on, and it rolls foul over to the third base side 0-1. 12 strikeouts matches what he did in 8 innings 5 days ago on the road at Daytona. Struck out 12, walked none. On July 28 on the road at St. Lucie, struck out 13. Takes a strike and the count goes 0-2. In that game, he struck out 13 and walked 1, and in the game before that at Fort Myers, struck out 11 and walked 2. 0-2 pitch to Crummell. Fastball off the plate. Outside, the count goes 1-2. If anyone is throwing in the Brevard bullpen, we cannot see the bullpen. It's tucked way down behind the stands at the end of the right field line. Time call by Crummell as Dan was taking a long look in at the catcher, Sean McCraw. One-two pitch. Swings and hits a bouncer to the second baseman. Klein bobbles, tries to throw it to Merklinger, covering the bag, gets past Merklinger, and heading for second will be Ray Crummell. There's got to be an error in there somewhere, most likely on Matt Klein.
The designated hitter, number 21, Jose Perella.
no ruling, but I would guess that's going to be an error on Matt Klein. Here comes the pitching coach, Fred Dabney. It was a slow roller towards second. The first baseman, Halton, left the bag trying to field it, but it was past him. Matt Klein charged for it. When he got to the ball, he bobbled it trying to rush the throw, and I think peripherally he saw Halton wasn't there. Merklinger doing his job, racing over to cover the bag at first, as any pitcher should do when the ball is hit on the first base side. But Klein tried to shovel the ball to Merklinger after dropping it, and not only did he miss Dan, but he threw it past Dan, and it rolled over towards the first base wall, and that allowed Crummell to advance to second. So Ray Crummell on second with one out on a two-base error, and that'll bring up Jose Perella. There goes Crum to third, and he steals the bag successfully, counting on the Manatees defense being a little down after that error. And so Ray Crummell steals his 28th bag of the year, and he steals third. So now the lead run, 90 feet away with one out. Count 0-1 on Jose Perella. Now the infield will play in. Miranda at third, Sanchez at short, Klein at second, and Halton at first. Pitch swung on and missed. 0-2. Well, if Dan can get his 13th strikeout here, it makes a big difference with one out and the infield drawn in. 0-2 pitch. Down and away, blocked by McCraw on a curveball, and the count goes 1-2. All Perella's got to do is hit the ball hard and get it past the drawn-in infield. One-two pitch. Swings and just got a piece of it and rolls foul in front of the plate. Well, those flashes of lightning I told you about might have actually been a photographer with a flash, because I can see a gentleman up in that area who's shooting some flash photography. And that may be what I saw in the corner of my eye. I didn't see him before, but he may have just been tucked in the corner where I couldn't see him. Time called by Perella at the plate. Ready to go again. Time called again, and now out to the mound goes catcher Sean McCraw, and also coming in from short is Juan Sanchez. Another critical point in the game. The lead run for Tampa, 90 feet away. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 13 for Daniel Merklinger.
Third baseman, number 36, Bradley Suttle.
So that'll bring up Brad Suttle, who has struck out 3 times. With 2 down, the infield can pull back. Suttle was also profiled on Minor League Baseball in an article that appeared yesterday. First pitch takes a breaking ball down and in, 1-0. And we'll read you the article about Suttle after the end of this half inning. Crummell still out there on third. 1-0 count to Suttle. Daniels pitch, fastball away, 2-0. Eric Komatsu out in center field, almost like a crab stretching his legs out there. We read you that story the last half inning about him having the hamstring problems last year, so looks like he's stretching his hammies. 2-0 pitch, swings at a curveball and misses, 2-1. Settle came in batting .280, 10 home runs, 78 RBI. Number 79, 90 feet away. 2-1 pitch. Swings and hits it up the third baseline. Foul ball. Sergio Miranda backhanded it behind the bag, but it was foul. Sergio tosses it to a fan over on the third base side. So the count's 2-2. Merklinger one strike away from his season high. 2-2 pitch. Down and away, 3-2. On deck is the cleanup hitter, Melky Mesa. All that rowdiness you may hear in the background is the mascot, Manny the Manatee, getting the locals all worked up. Carmel down the line from third. Merklinger set. Subtle waiting for him. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Line drive into right center field. Base hit. The Yankees are going to take a 3-2 lead. RBI number 79 for Brad Subtle. Subtle came into the game second in the league in RBI. Quincy Lattimore of Bradenton leading with 91. That's going to be it for Daniel Merklinger. What a game he pitched. Listen to the crowd. Thirteen strikeouts by Daniel Merklinger, not enough. As he trails 3-2 with 2 down in the top of the 7th, top of the 8th. Let me get the number for you on the new pitcher. It's a right-hander. It'll be number 34, Corey Frerichs, F-R-E-R-I-C-H-S, Corey Frerichs. For Corey. For Corey, 8-3 with a 2.73 ERA. This is his 46th appearance. He has 11 saves and 17 opportunities. 79 innings. He's given up 53 hits. Struck out 70, walked 32, and he's given up only 2 home runs. The league batting .193 against Corey Frerichs. Corey, among the statistical leaders in the league in relief. That 193 batting average is 4th best in the league against relievers. And he's called in to hold a deficit of 3-2. So Brad Subtle on first with 2 down. That'll bring up Melky Mesa, who struck out 3 times against Daniel Merklinger. Subtle off at first, and the first pitch by Frerichs misses away, ball 1. Subtle at first, 11 for 12 in stolen bases. Next pitch way inside, and the count goes 2-0. Wind picking up, and the direction of the wind's changing now. It's blowing from right to left. 2-0 pitch is swung on, and it's fouled back this way to leave the ballpark, and the count's 2-1. Subtle with a modest lead being held on by Halton. Pitch is fouled to the right side. It goes over the middle overhang, and the count goes 2-2. One pitch from getting out of this inning against one of the more dangerous hitters in the league. Subtle has his lead. 2-2 pitch way inside. Almost got past McCraw. The count goes full 3-2, and that'll let Subtle take off with the pitch. There goes Brandon. The 3-2 pitch is a hard bounder. Base hit into left field. Round second and holding will be Subtle as Brock Kelgard fields the ball. So back-to-back singles with 2 down. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Trent Lockwood, who has singled twice. Well, now the game threatening to get away from the Manatees. First pitch to Trent. Breaking ball misses away. Ball 1. Manatees had a 2-0 lead going to the top of the 7th, and then Myron Leslie hit a 2-run homer, and then the Yankees padded the lead in this inning. Next pitch misses away, and it's 2-0. With 1 out, Ray Crummell reached second on an error by Matt Klein. Crummell stole third, and then after Jose Perella struck out, Brad Subtle singled in Crummell to make it 3-2 Tampa. And then Melky Mesa just singled to move Subtle to second. Two-0 pitch. Swings and hits it the opposite way. Foul into the first row of the stands. Fan missed it and it bounces back onto the field. And Trent Lockwood will get a new piece of lumber. He cracked his bat on that pitch. Once again, if you want to email, we're running out of time on the 2010 season. This is our last webcast, so any last thoughts you might have, the email address home@spacecoastbaseball.com. Again, home@spacecoastbaseball.com. If there are any Tampa fans out there or Daytona Cub fans who tuned in after their game was rained out tonight, we want to hear from you. This pitch is a pop foul on third base side. Sergio Miranda racing over towards the railing, and it's going to bounce off of the walkway. So the count goes 2-2. Ball boy brings out a handful of baseballs for home plate umpire Ian Fazio. You might remember about a month ago a game we called where home plate umpire Roberto Medina was hit in the chin by a foul tip. He was diagnosed with a concussion, and they decided to give him the rest of the season off. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, hard grounder down to the second baseman, Klein. He'll go over to Halton at first for the final out. But the Yankees take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits, an error, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's the Yankees 3 and the Manatees 2. A new pitcher is coming in for Tampa out of the bullpen. We'll tell you who that is in just a moment. Meanwhile, I was telling you that Minor League Baseball's Florida State League website had an article that got published yesterday by Lee DeKemper about Tampa third baseman Bradley Subtle. So let me tell you a little bit about what that says. It says it's easy to understand why Tampa third baseman Bradley Subtle was concerned his days in the Yankees organization might come to an end. It's not often that a minor leaguer who's not a bonus baby would be afforded slack for missing an entire year with 2 surgeries before reaching Class A advanced and start off the following season poorly without being released. But that's exactly what happened in Suttle's case. I'm definitely very thankful and feel blessed. The Yankees are patient and willing to work with you, Subtle said. That patience may pay off for the Yankees down the road now that Subtle, who himself wondered at one point if his baseball career was over, is one of the top run producers in the Florida State League. And that's what he did here in the top of the 8th, driving in the lead run. After getting drafted by New York in the 4th round of the 2008 draft out of the University of Texas, Suttle reported to the Gulf Coast League, but it wasn't long before he knew something was off. Suttle began having discomfort in his throwing shoulder, his right shoulder, but he tried to just ignore it. He reported the following season to Charleston of the South Atlantic League, where the condition only grew worse. He had it checked out, and it was a torn labrum. He immediately underwent surgery, but when he got to spring training last year, he says it was still moving along very slowly, and he tried to battle through it for a couple of months. He had it checked out again. His body did not react well to what they used in surgery to repair the damage. So back under the knife he went, and his 2009 season was done. But he's back at third base this year for the Tampa Yankees. Well, the Yankees go to their bullpen hammer, Jonathan Ortiz, here in the bottom of the 8th. He'll be facing the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Brevard, Angel Salome, Sergio Miranda, and Sean Halton. For Ortiz, 44th appearance, he's 6-1 with a 2.49 ERA, 20 saves and 26 attempts. In 50 2/3 innings, he's given up 37 hits, struck out 56, walked 11. But he has given up 4 home runs, so there is some hope. First pitch by Ortiz, outside corner, misses, ball 1. Salome struck out, fly to center, and singled. Working from the stretch, even though there's nobody on base. And a 1-0 pitch is a little fly ball to center field. Melky Mesa giving room, and now he has it for the first out.
Third baseman number 10, Sergio Miranda.
So with 1 out, that'll bring up the third baseman, Sergio Miranda, who singled, struck out, and reached on an error. Jonathan Ortiz has the 5th lowest batting average against of any Florida State League reliever, just 197. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Has the 3rd best ratio of base runners per 9 innings. Fastball outside corner, 1-1. He allows just 8.53 runners per 9 innings. That's the 3rd best of any reliever in the league. 1-1 pitch misses way away, and it's 2-1. His teammate, switch throwing pitcher Pat Venditti, has the best ratio, allowing only 7.57 base runners per 9 innings. Hangs a curveball, and it's lined into right field for a base hit. The right fielder, Almonte, gets the ball in, and Sergio Miranda is on with his 2nd single.
The first baseman, number 24, Sean Halton.
So that'll bring up Sean Halton, who's singled twice and lined to left. Miranda at first, 11 for 15 on stolen bases. Now it's a decent lead. The first pitch by Ortiz, off-speed pitch, swung on a miss, 0-1. Sergio represents the tie run here in the bottom of the 8th. Halton the go-ahead run. He's working from the stretch. Hasn't shown much interest in Miranda so far. There's a curveball swung on a miss. Snap throw down to first. Ooh. The umpire calls him safe. I'm not so sure. That was bang bang. And of course, with only 2 umpires at this level, the infield umpire currently standing, if you drew a line between the pitcher and the second baseman, he's about halfway between the two. So he wouldn't have a good angle on a pickoff throw at first. There's another one, and Sergio in safely that time. The Manatees have been fairly aggressive on the base paths this year. This pitch is swung on, the hard bouncer to Settle at third. He goes to Leslie at second for 1 on to Lockwood, double play. 5-4-3. Double play to get out of the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and no one left. We go to the top of the ninth. It's the Yankees 3 and the Manatees 2. Well, on that double play turned at second base, Sergio Miranda seems to have been perhaps injured slightly. He's standing out on the infield, hands on his knees, looking down. He seemed to limp just a little bit when he got up, and keep in mind that second baseman currently for Tampa, Myron Leslie, is usually a first baseman. Well, I think Sergio's coming out of the game. He's walking. Well, no, he's going to stay in the game, so he's going to suck it up. He's going to play. When he was walking over towards Brevard dugout, he was just waiting for second baseman Matt Klein to bring him his glove. But he's still bending over a little bit, and then whatever it is seems to be bothering him just a little. But Sergio's a very intense ball player. Very hard-nosed, very aggressive, always hustling. And it's going to take more than that to get Sergio Miranda out of the lineup. Corey Frerichs into his second inning of relief. And he'll face Zoila Almonte, Myron Leslie, and Jose Heel here in the top of the ninth to try holding it at a 3-2 deficit. If the Manatees lose tonight, they'll be 5.5 games behind Tampa with 9 games to go. Zoila Almonte leads it off against Corey Frerichs. He slid to left, grounded to first, and struck out. Frerichs working from the stretch. First pitch. Fastball, strike one. Sergio still bending over a little bit down at third. Oh, 1 pitch. Fastball away, and it counts 1-1. Wind picking up, blowing from right to left. Change in direction from earlier in the game. Fastball hits the outside corner, 1-2. I'd say the wind maybe now in 10-12 mile an hour range. One-two pitch. Line foul over on the third base side. Rattles around in the box seats up at the upper level. The count remains 1-2. Corey comes set. 1-2 pitch. It's a slow bouncer up the first baseline. Halton has it himself. Race to the bag, not in time. Well, all year long I have praised the Manatees pitchers for proper coverage of first base on balls hit on the right side of the infield. And that ball hit up the first baseline. Halton charged and got it. Frerichs headed over that way, but Halton was between him and the bag. And that's what kept Corey from covering first base, and it's an infield single for Zoilo Almonte. And that'll bring up Myron Leslie, who homered his last time up. First pitch, breaking ball taken for a strike, 0-1. Almonte at first, 7 for 8 in stolen bases this year. Left-handed hitter Leslie will pull the ball on the right side, and that, if Almonte takes off, that would remove the hole that's open for him. Here's a hard grounder, a couple hops with the shortstop. Sanchez takes it to second himself and goes on to first. Double play.
The catcher, number 41, Jose Hill.
So with 2 down, that'll bring up the catcher, Jose Heel, who struck out twice and fly to center. Looking at weather.com, still no significant chance of rain at least in the next couple of hours. It shows the wind shift, as we said, from the south-southwest. The first pitch to heel, fastball taken, strike one. But it says only blowing 4 to 6 miles an hour, and it's definitely stronger than that. Breaking ball misses away, and it counts 1-1. Next pitch by Corey. Swings and hits a grounder down the shortstop. Sanchez bobbles. Long throw in time. No runs, a hit. No errors. And nobody left. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Yankees trying to hold on to a 3-2 lead over the Manatees. We're still waiting to see if Jonathan Ortiz takes the mound for the bottom of the ninth. Yes, he is. He's the last one out of the Tampa dugout on the third base side. Yankees manager Torrey Tyson is behind the plate to warm up Ortiz. The reason he's doing that is that the catcher, Jose Heel, made the last out of in the top of the ninth, and so he needs to strap on the shin guards and put the rest of the protective gear on. Nice to see the manager go out there and get an up-close and personal look at his closer. In the bottom of the ninth, for Brevard, it'll be the 7, 8, 9 batters, Brock Helgard, followed by Sean McCraw and Juan Sanchez. There are a couple of regulars on the bench. Scott Krieger, the right fielder, had the night off, as did shortstop Josh Prince. Krieger has 10 home runs, so you can certainly see a possibility of him showing up as a pinch hitter. Last warm-up pitch for Jonathan Ortiz. Perhaps the most important 3 outs of the season for the Manatees as they trail 3-2 against Tampa going to the bottom of the ninth. Brock Helgard leads the team in home runs with 14 tonight. He struck out, grounded to third, and flied out to right. Now, working in his favor, he's a right-handed pull hitter, and the wind is blowing briskly from right to left. First pitch by Ortiz. Fastball taken for a strike, 0-1. Oh-1 pitch, breaking ball, missed inside, 1-1. 1-1 pitch, swings at a changeup and misses, and the count's 1-2. Well, most of the fans are still with us. It doesn't look like the crowd has cleared out much at all. One-two pitch, swings and misses at a curveball, strike 3. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the catcher, Sean McCraw. Struck out looking, walked, and grounded to first. First pitch by Ortiz, misses way away with a fastball, 1-0. Curveball bends in over the inside corner, and the count's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Swings and hits a foul over this way to the left side of the press box. The count goes 1-2. Ortiz comes set. 1-2 pitch. Line drive. Is it going to get past Leslie? No, he's got to throw on to first in time. McCraw hit it hard past the mound, but it died once it took its first bounce on the grass. There was enough time for Leslie to field it and go on to first for the second out. So with 2 down, that'll bring up the shortstop, Juan Sanchez. He's singled, grounded to first, and flied out to center. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Manatees trailing the Yankees 3-2. First pitch by Ortiz, fastball inside corner, strike 1. Nobody throwing in the Tampa bullpen. Right now, no reason to. 0-1 pitch. It's a base hit into left field, and the season is still alive. So I'll take us back to the top of the lineup to Peter Fosse. Wide out to left, fly to center, single, and struck out looking. We're going to have a pinch runner for Juan Sanchez. It's going to be Josh Prince. Josh third in the league in stolen bases with 42. Now, you may think, well, Stevens engaging in a bit of hyperbole by saying, well, the season was on the line there if they lose 5.5 games back with 9 to play. So certainly mathematically still have an opportunity, but we're talking a difference of 3.5 back versus 5.5 back with 9 to play. It's a big difference. And it'll be far more difficult, especially with Daytona ahead of Brevard. First pitch by Ortiz, breaking ball outside corner, 0-1. This isn't just about Tampa and Brevard County. Daytona's out there too. 2 games behind the Yankees. 2.5 ahead of the Manatees, and Daytona was rained out at home tonight. Next pitch is a line drive caught by Suttle. Fosse did what he needed to do. That was a line drive headed for the left field corner, but Suttle left as high as he could and kept that ball from going down the left field line with the speedy Josh Prince on at first. He might have scored and tied the game. So a couple inches make the difference as the Manatees lose 3-2 to the Tampa Yankees. The line score for Tampa, 3 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. While the Manatees, 2 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. The win will go in relief to Adam Obrachowski. The loss will go to Daniel Merklinger. And it'll be a save to Jonathan Ortiz.
For the rest of you, thank you for coming out. Please drive home safely. And we hope to see you this weekend for the Manatees and Redbirds. Good night.
Well, very quickly, let's visit the other scores in the Florida State League. As we said, it's a busy scoreboard with all the makeup doubleheaders due to the rain this week. First of all, in Dunedin, the Blue Jays hosting the Lakeland Flying Tigers. The Blue Jays took Game 1 by a score of 3-2, while the Flying Tigers took the second game by a score of 3-0. In Bradenton, the Marauders, the Pittsburgh Pirates affiliate, took both games from the St. Lucie Mets, 10-1 and 4-1. Down in Palm Beach, the Fort Myers Miracle, a Minnesota Twins affiliate, swept the Cardinals 4-1 and 7-1. So that means we'll have a change in the leaderboard for the Florida State League South. as the Bradenton Marauders will go up one game on the Palm Beach Cardinals. The Fort Myers Miracle will be 2.5 back of Bradenton. Another doubleheader in Charlotte. The Stone Crabs Tampa Bay Rays affiliate swept the doubleheader from the Jupiter Hammerheads 4-0 and 5-4. Last time we checked on game number 2, Charlotte had a no-hitter going after 4, but they scored 4 runs in the top of the 6th and had 5 runs in total. But Charlotte still won both games. So with Charlotte sweeping that doubleheader, they will be 2 games out of first behind Bradenton, but Charlotte won the first half, so what they do in the second half really doesn't have that much difference in terms of going to the postseason for Charlotte. The only way it would change things would be if Charlotte wins the second half as well, and then the team with the best overall record in the Florida State League South would get a wild card entry to play Charlotte in the first round of the playoffs. And right now, the team with the best record is Charlotte. And then after that would be Bradenton, and then one game behind Bradenton is Palm Beach. As we said, Clearwater at Daytona, that game was postponed due to rain and will probably be made up next week when the Cubs are in Clearwater for a 3-game series. And as we said here, the Tampa Yankees defeated the Brevard County Manatees by a score of 3-2, the win going to Adam Olberchowski in relief, 3-2. The loss to Daniel Merklinger, 7-6, and the save to Jonathan Ortiz, his 21st save of the year. To give you the final numbers on the starting pitchers, and it was quite a pitcher's duel for Tampa's Graham Stoneburner. In 5 innings, he gave up 2 runs, 1 earned, 6 hits, struck out 5 and walked 1. For Daniel Merklinger, it was another excellent outing. In 7 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, struck out 13 and walked 1. The margin of difference for him, a 2-run home run hit by Myron Leslie with 2 outs in the top of the 7th to deep left center field. Brock Kelgar leaning over the fence out there, had it in his glove, but he dropped it. And that got Tampa back in the game. Well, we just had a flash of lightning, and it is starting to shower here, so we got the game finished just in time. And as I've always cautioned, never believe the weather forecast here because it can change in a minute, and it rather symbolizes the dark and gloomy status of the Manatees right now as it comes to trying to make the postseason. They fall 5.5 games behind the Tampa Yankees with 9 to play, and they're still not 100% out of it, but it would take a rather cataclysmic collapse by Tampa, and the same thing with Daytona. They'd have to go into a tailspin. So right now, the Manatees are 5.5 games behind Tampa and 3 games behind Daytona. Tampa will move to 2.5 ahead of Daytona and 5.5 ahead of the Manatees. Well, this is the final webcast of the 2010 season for SpaceCoastBaseball.com, unless the Manatees get to the playoffs. And for those of you who've been with us all along, thank you so much. It's been an interesting experiment in the power of the Internet. The Manatees do not have a radio contract, so SpaceCoastBaseball.com volunteered to call 15 games for free, as well as the Florida State League All-Star Game. All these games are archived on SpaceCoastBaseball.com, so if you go to the home page on the menu bar, click on Multimedia, select Audios, and you'll see all the games that we called this year. One game we missed was a rainout against Bradenton, and they didn't come back here, so we didn't have a chance to do the Marauders, but we did everybody else, and we did the Tampa Yankees 3 times, so all that's out there for you to listen to in the next 9-10 days, remainder of the season, and again over the off season. If you have enjoyed these webcasts and you appreciate the effort that SpaceCoastBaseball.com has made to provide you not just with the webcast, but also the photos that we've done and the videos, including the videos that are up from last night's game. If you go to the homepage there and look in the left column under videos, you can see video of Kyle Heckathorn. You can see the home runs by Eric Komatsu and Sean Zaraga, and the play that Sean made at home plate to tag out Brad Suttle, and with more to come this weekend. But all that equipment cost quite a bit of money, and quite honestly, like 13% of the rest of the population here in the Space Coast, I'm unemployed. So every penny, dime, dollar that you donate, it helps, even if it's no more than the gas money to get here. It's about 20 miles one way from home. So any contributions you make to show your appreciation and support for what we've done are greatly appreciated. And to make a donation, just go to the SpaceCoastBaseball.com homepage. There's a link there where you can go to learn how to make a one-time donation or sign up for a $5 a month voluntary contribution. If that link disappears, you're listening to this over the winter and you want to help out, the link is still there. You just click on the menu bar where it says homepage, and underneath that it says donate to SpaceCoastBaseball.com. Well, everyone, thank you very much. I really appreciated all the support over the season, especially from all the players' parents. I know I heard from many of you over the year, and I don't want to overlook everyone, but I'm thinking of the Heckathorns, the Meadows. I know I've heard from the Roberts family, from the Kelgards, the Mirandas, of course, and I'm probably missing a couple, but I wanted everybody to know that your support, both financial and spiritual, has meant quite a lot. And as I said many times, I got into doing this whole minor league thing 12 years ago with the Angels minor leagues, and I found that my calling in life was to be out there to help players, parents, and the loved ones connect to their sons through the power of the Internet. I've been doing that for 12 years on FutureAngels.com, and since August of 2009 with SpaceCoastBaseball.com, when my wife and I moved here from Southern California. And this has been a fun experience, and it's been, like I said, an interesting experiment in the Internet to make it possible for people around the world to listen to Brevard County Manatees baseball. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm going to let you go. Final score, once again, Tampa Yankees 3, Brevard County Manatees 2, and this webcast archive will be available for replay tomorrow morning on SpaceCoastBaseball.com. So until the next time we talk, thank you for listening, and good night.